Entangled by the major chiliocosm thunderstorm, Yi Sanling was in utter despair. He hurriedly turned his head and shouted, "I admit defeat. I surrender. Don't kill me." Entangled by the major chiliocosm thunderstorm, Yi Sanling was in utter despair. He hurriedly turned his head and shouted, "I admit defeat. I surrender. Don't kill me." Hanju used the 6 paths soul absorption technique and sucked his nascent soul into his hand. The 6 paths spirit energy wrapped around Yi Sanling's nascent soul like invisible shackles, immobilizing him. Hanju turned around. He first returned to the battleground and found Yi Sanling's storage ring before returning to his cave abode. The black hell chicken opened its eyes and looked curiously at the tiny figure in Hanju's hand. Yi Sanling was terrified. His tiny nascent soul trembled. Hanju placed him on the ground and sat on the bed, looking down at him. "What's the raincoat sect's intention?" Hanju asked. Yi Sanling gritted his teeth as he replied, "Annex the Jade Pure sect and capture their geniuses together. After the Jade Pure sect is destroyed, these geniuses have nowhere to go and can only join the Raincoat sect." Hanju continued to ask, "Is this only against the Jade Pure sect or the entire cultivation world?" "The entire cultivation world. You're very daring. Is there a soul formation cultivator in your sect?" "Of course," Yi Sanling answered truthfully. In the face of death he couldn't care less. "Is there anyone at the Void Amalgamation realm?" Hanju asked with narrowed eyes. Yi Sanling said helplessly, "That's a legendary realm. At least, I've never heard of anyone achieving it in the sect. However, our leader is already at the peak of the soul formation realm. If the Raincoat sect is so strong, why is it hiding in the dark? No matter how strong you are, you can't fight against the entire cultivation world directly." The painful lesson from 1,000 years ago made our leader very cautious. "Where are the geniuses of the Jade Pure sect imprisoned?" "Well, I really don't know. I'm just an ordinary deacon." "An ordinary deacon who was at the 7th level of the nascent soul realm?" Hanju felt that the Raincoat sect was very dangerous. It was too scary. Yi Sanling said cautiously, "Senior, please let me go. I won't do it again. I swear, I won't come to the Jade Pure sect again." Yi Sanling has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points 6 stars. Irresolvable except for death. Hanju raised his eyebrows. Updated from Light Novel World. "Calm young man, your path has gotten narrower." Hanju raised his hand at lightning speed, and the unparalleled finger divine sword shot out, directly killing Yi Sanling's nascent soul. The black hell chicken shuddered upon seeing this. This was the first time it saw Hanju kill the enemy. After Yi Sanling died, Hanju began to inspect his storage ring. As expected of a 7th level nascent soul realm expert, the resources in his storage ring were truly abundant. This storage ring was very big. The spirit stones piled up into small hills. There were various equipment, cultivation technique manuals, medicinal pills, and many other treasures. Hanju first looked at the cultivation technique manuals. They were all cultivation techniques and spell techniques. He didn't like them. As for equipment, they were only used by fiendish cultivators. Hanju started to check the pills. Soon, he discovered a pill that could increase his cultivation level to the nascent soul realm. 6 paths spirit energy entered the pill, and he felt a surging spirit chi emanating from it. Hanju immediately started to consume it. 2 years later, Hanju broke through to the 6th level of the nascent soul realm. The black hell chicken had already become a majestic rooster. Its intelligence had also finally reached the level of a 7 or 8-year-old child. It could speak in the human language now. It was worth mentioning that when the black hell chicken cultivated a trace of demonic power, it actually inherited a demonic cultivation technique. It was very surprised. Hanju understood that this was the cultivation technique of the demon saint in his previous life. That was good too. Hanju didn't need to teach it too much. Li Qingzi came to visit him again and talked about the Raincoat sect. Recently, the Raincoat sect seemed to have vanished and no longer targeted the Jade Pure sect. Li Qingzi finally found out the location where the geniuses of the Jade Pure sect were imprisoned. He wanted to ask Hanju for help. Hanju said seriously, "Perhaps this is a ploy to lure me away from the sect." Once I leave, if the raincoat sect comes, can you stop them? After all, even a nascent soul expert can only be a deacon in the raincoat sect. Li Qingzi was silent. That was very possible. In that case, even if he saved those geniuses, it would be useless. This content is taken from Light Novel World. Come then, I'll do it myself. Elder Han, I'll leave the Jade Pure sect to you, Li Qingzi said solemnly. Hanju nodded. Unless we encounter a void amalgamation expert, no one can take down the Jade Pure sect. Li Qingzi beamed. It seemed that Hanju had become stronger during this period. Li Qingzi left in satisfaction. Hanju thought for a moment and started the simulation trial. He set Duan Tongtian's cultivation level to the 9th level of the soul formation realm. Hanju barely fought to a draw. This caused him to panic. One had to know that the simulation trial could only set cultivation levels. The difference between the 9th level of the soul formation realm and the 1st level of the soul formation realm was also very huge. When Duan Tongtian truly cultivated to the 9th level of the soul formation realm, his strength would definitely be stronger than him in the simulation trial. Moreover, Duan Tongtian had only broken through to the soul formation realm because of Xiao Yi. He was a little weak. I have to break through to the soul formation realm as soon as possible. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep well. Hanju thought silently. He clicked on interpersonal relationships and checked his friend's status. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by the Raincoat Sect X29. Your friend Zhou Fan was attacked by the Raincoat Sect X48. His poor disciple was still being beaten. Hanju was not too worried. After being attacked so many times, he was still alive. What did that mean? The Raincoat Sect truly loved talents and couldn't bear to kill them. Could it be that the Raincoat Sect wasn't part of the demonic path? Hanju thought silently. Then he continued cultivating. Dear disciple, hold on. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. Your master is still cultivating diligently. When he's confident enough, he'll definitely save you. In a dark pavilion, 4 men in raincoats sat around a table. They all wore straw hats that hid their faces. One of them asked in a low voice, "Why isn't Yi Sanling back yet?" The others followed suit. Did something happen? Yi Sanling is an expert at the 7th level of the nascent soul realm. Other than the deity-slaying elder, no one in the Jade Pure sect can hold him back. Not to mention that there are spies coordinating inside and out. Who is that spy? I'm not sure. Only Yi Sanling knows about it. There's only one contact between each spy and the sect master. Sect master is too cautious. In my opinion, it would be better to just trample over the Jade Pure sect. Also, those disciples of the Jade Pure sect should be killed if they aren't giving in. The 4 of them started to complain about their sect master. In their opinion, although the deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect was strong, he was no match for the sect master. Moreover, other than the sect master, there were other soul formation experts in the Raincoat sect. Bang! The door was suddenly kicked open. A golden-robed man strode into the room. His golden robes were embroidered with tigers and leopards, and he wore a dagger-like silver-blue jade crown. He had a handsome face, bright eyes, and a sense of pride between his brows. The 4 men in raincoats slapped the table and got up. How dare you? One of them pulled out a knife from his waist and prepared to slash at the golden-robed man. The golden-robed man's gaze turned cold, and a terrifying pressure erupted. The entire pavilion shook violently, and the 4 men in raincoats were so frightened that they didn't dare to move. One of them gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you?" The golden-robed man said expressionlessly, "I'm Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. I heard that you are from the Raincoat sect. It just so happens that I want to challenge the Raincoat sect. Tell me, where is the sect master?" Huang Jihao. The 4 of them trembled even harder. Recently, Huang Jihao's fame had become too great. One of the men in raincoats suddenly said, "If we say it, we'll definitely die. However, if you challenge the Jade Pure sect first, we can give you the location of the Raincoat sect. For more, visit lightnovelworld.com. Challenge the Jade Pure sect. Challenge the Jade Pure sect. Huang Jihao frowned and coldly said, "Such a desolate sect is not challenging at all. His tone was filled with disdain for the Jade Pure sect. A Raincoat sect member hurriedly said, "Recently, a deity-slaying elder appeared in the Jade Pure sect. He killed a soul formation expert with one strike. His strength is unfathomable." Hearing this, Huang Jihao couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. "I've fought with the sect master and great-grand elder of the Jade Pure sect. Their strength is average, and I've never heard of this deity-slaying elder. Don't lie to me." Huang Jihao spoke in a low voice. His terrifying aura didn't diminish in the slightest. "I dare not lie. It's true. You can go out and ask around." The viridescent nether cult was destroyed because of this person. The other Raincoat sect members said anxiously. The four of them combined were not Huang Jihao's match. They were afraid that he would attack them. Huang Jihao's eyes flickered. "Tell me the location of the Raincoat sect first. I'll challenge the Jade Pure sect first, then the Raincoat sect." The four Raincoat sect members looked at each other. In order to survive, they finally compromised. After a while, Huang Jihao left. The four Raincoat sect members let out a long breath and collapsed onto their chairs. "How strong is this guy?" One of them gritted his teeth. Another person scolded. "It's not important. What's important is that I think there's something wrong with this inn. Where's the soundproofing and divine sense isolation?" Jade Pure sect. 2 years had passed since Li Qingzi left. Han Ju was still at the 6th level of the nascent soul realm. With the help of Yi Sanlang's pills, he was already close to the 7th level. The black hell chicken was already half a meter tall. But Han Ju had tested its skeletal age. It was still far from maturing. One fine day, Chang Yuer came to visit. It had been many years since she had last seen the black hell chicken. She couldn't help but walk over and touch it. "Itchy itchy." The black hell chicken resisted and retreated. Hearing its childish voice, Chang Yuer was even more interested. Han Ju couldn't help but say, "Stop touching it. This is my precious mount. If you hurt it, can you afford to compensate me?" "TCH, so be it if I have to compensate you. Using a chicken as a mount, you're really something." Chang Yuer pouted. Although she said that, her body was still very obedient. She turned around and came in front of him. She sized up Han Ju and smiled. "Junior Han, I find your face pleasing to the eye every time I see it. I wonder how outstanding your parents are." "Parents? Oh, they were nothing extraordinary." Han Ju smiled in his heart. All these years, Han Ju would occasionally think of his parents in this life. More than 100 years had passed. If they were still mortals, they would have been long dead. That was good. It saved him a lot of trouble. Han Ju's parents in this life were not very close. When they abandoned Han Ju and fled, their blood ties ended. If it were his parents in his previous life, they would definitely not give up on him. Chang Yuer continued. "I heard that Elder Guan is coming back. Have you heard of Elder Guan? He and our master entered the Jade Pure sect together. However, 300 years ago, he offended the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. In order to avoid suspicion, the Grand Elder secretly sent him out of the Great Yin dynasty. Half a year ago, he used a spell to say that he was coming back and wanted to fight for the position of sect master." Han Ju shook his head. He had never heard of such a thing. He had never heard of such a person either. "It's said that Elder Guan likes our master very much. He might become our master's Dao companion," Chang Yuer continued. Han Ju shrugged. He was dreaming. Fairy Shixian didn't allow her disciples to become Dao companions. How could she break the rules herself? He asked, "Is that Elder Guan very strong?" Chang Yuer nodded and said, "It's said that he obtained an opportunity outside the Great Yin and has already become a soul formation cultivator. This time, he has returned to lead the Jade Pure sect to surpass the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. The elders are all very happy. With one more soul formation cultivator in the Jade Pure sect, we will have more confidence in dealing with the Raincoat sect. The Great Grand Elder is also very happy, but the sect master is out and doesn't know about this." Han Ju couldn't help but mourn for Li Qingzi. He had worked so hard for so many years, only to lose his position. Just as Han Ju was about to ask more about Elder Guan, a line of words suddenly appeared in front of him. "Detected bearer of Khanate Providence, checking its origin." Han Ju was stunned. The source of this content is Light Novel World. Another bearer of Khanate Providence? Was the Jade Pure sect really so lucky? Why was it that there was always someone with a powerful background? Hanju hurriedly checked. Huang Jihao, third level of the Soul Formation realm, an external elder of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Born with the heart of the sword, he has an extremely high comprehension of the sword Tao. Because of his unparalleled aptitude from a young age, he has developed a haughty attitude. In order to become stronger, he can give up everything. Huang Jihao. Fuck. Why was this fellow here? Was he going to challenge the Jade Pure sect? Hanju had a headache. Couldn't he just cultivate properly? A choice notification appeared in front of Hanju. The Jade Pure sect faces Huang Jihao's challenge. You have the following choices. 1. Order the entire sect to encircle and annihilate Huang Jihao and obtain victory. Your name will shake the world, and you will obtain a fire attribute cultivation technique manual. 2. Secretly repel Huang Jihao without causing too much of a commotion. You can obtain a numinous treasure. Hanju chose the second option. Being high profile was not his style. Moreover, if he openly defeated Huang Jihao, the Vermilion Bird Sword sect would definitely become enemies with the Jade Pure sect. Hanju had yet to figure out Huang Jihao's ranking in the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Even if he was the strongest, if the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and the Raincoat sect joined forces, the Jade Pure sect would not be able to handle it. The Jade Pure sect is still too weak. Hanju sighed. He looked at Chang Yuer and said, Go back first. I have something to do. What is it? It's not convenient to say. TCH. Chang Yuer curled her lips and left. She was still chatting happily, but had been asked to leave. Anyone would feel disappointed. After Chang Yuer left, Hanju began to use the simulation trial to search for Huang Jihao's location. At this moment, Huang Jihao was less than 20 kilometers away from the Jade Pure sect. He was walking very slowly. This content is taken from Light Novel World. Calm Hanju didn't move immediately. Hold on. Let's have a simulation trial battle. Hanju's consciousness entered the simulation trial. 5 minutes later, he ended the simulation trial. He frowned. He's not bad at all. Hanju took a deep breath and continued the simulation trial. He couldn't insta-kill the guy. This guy is only at the 3rd level of the Soul Formation realm. Hanju changed his fighting style. 2 minutes later, the simulation ended. Hanju frowned again and muttered. As expected of the innate heart of the sword. He can actually last 2 minutes against me. Hanju was vexed. The battle commotion was too loud. 2 minutes was enough to attract many people. The opponent was not easy to deal with. He had no choice. Even if it was difficult, he still had to go. When the battle reached the Jade Pure sect, it would truly be earth-shattering. In the forest, Huang Jihao slowly walked forward. His expression was very calm, not the least bit nervous about the upcoming battle. A figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was Hanju. He was wearing the Taoist robe of the Jade Pure sect, and his bearing was graceful. He was obviously not a mortal. Huang Jihao glanced at him. 9th level of Foundation Establishment realm. So weak. But he was handsome. The source of this content is Light Novel World. Calm. Huang Jihao has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability. 2 stars. A line of words suddenly appeared in front of Hanju. He was stunned. What the hell? Why did he suddenly have a favorable impression of me? Why did he suddenly have a favorable impression of me? Hanju frowned. Things were getting harder. It was difficult for him to do anything to someone who liked him. Huang Jihao walked in front of Hanju and said, Brat, I have an affinity with you. Do you want to take me as your master? It won't be difficult for you to reach the nascent soul realm in the future. To Foundation Establishment cultivators, the nascent soul realm was the biggest dream. He didn't believe that Hanju wouldn't be moved. Affinity? Hanju had a strange look. What sort of affinity could there be between men? Could it be? Hanju shivered and felt goosebumps. He took a step back. Who are you? Why are you here at the Jade Pure sect? Hanju asked in a low voice. Huang Jihao teased. I'm Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Have you heard of me? I came to the Jade Pure sect this time to challenge your deity-slaying elder. Hanju asked. Why challenge the deity-slaying elder and not the sect master? Your sect master and former sect master were defeated by me long ago. Only the deity-slaying elder has the right to make me fight. I originally couldn't be bothered to deal with you, and wanted to challenge the Raincoat sect. However, the people of the Raincoat sect insisted that I deal with the deity-slaying elder before telling me their location. Huang Jihao spoke very casually, causing Hanju's hatred for the Raincoat sect to soar to 6 stars. Hanju asked, "Are there many soul formation experts in the Raincoat sect? How's their sect master's strength?" "There are indeed many soul formation cultivators. After all, they have thousands of years of foundation. As for their leader, he's very mysterious. I'm not sure either." "What are your chances of challenging the Raincoat sect? Why are you asking so many questions? Are you going to acknowledge me as your master or not?" Huang Jihao's favorability towards you has decreased. Current favorability, 1 star. Huang Jihao looked impatient. Hanju was amused. "I'm just asking you a few more questions, but your good impression of me is already half gone." "Great. Then, I won't be soft-hearted against you." Hanju directly took out the Qilin sword and said, "If you can receive 1 strike from me, I will acknowledge you as my master." Huang Jihao was also amused. "Kid, have you never heard of my name? I'm asking you, do you dare to face my sword? All right, I'll take your strike. If you can injure me in the slightest, I'll turn around and leave. I won't disturb the Jade Pure sect anymore." "You said it. Of course." Huang Jihao was proud and arrogant. After confirming that Hanju was only at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm, he didn't take his words to heart at all. Hanju suddenly attacked. The 6th-path spirit energy in his body erupted like a volcano and poured into the Qilin sword. Huang Jihao's eyes widened. This spirit energy? Crap. Huang Jihao hurriedly raised his hands and circulated the surging spirit energy within his body. Sword light flashed, and a black sword chi cut through the forest. It soared into the sky and cut the sea of clouds in half. It was a spectacular sight. Then the ground shook and dust flew. Huang Jihao gritted his teeth and used all his strength to block the sword chi of the heavenly punishment ghost deity sword. The terrifying sword chi forced him to retreat. The protective shield formed by his spirit energy cracked like glass. Not good. He couldn't block it. Huang Jihao cursed under his breath and hurriedly leaped up. The moment he did so, Hanju's sword chi invaded his body, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body also leaped thousands of feet away. The sword aura swept out and crushed the trees along the way. A huge ravine appeared on the ground. It was unfathomable like a narrow valley. Huang Jihao stopped and looked at Hanju in shock. What sword technique is this? No. It's a mystical power. The famous Huang Jihao shouldn't go back on his word, right? Hanju looked up and asked expressionlessly. Huang Jihao has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 4 stars. Hanju didn't panic. He stared at Huang Jihao. Huang Jihao trembled in anger. He wanted to kill Hanju, but he had already said that, so he would not slap his own face. In addition, Hanju's sword chi was indeed powerful. If they really fought to the death, he might not be able to win. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you? You came to find me and you ask who I am." Follow current novels on Light Novel World. Calm. Huang Jihao laughed in anger. This was the deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect. I knew it. He lives up to his reputation. Although I won't come to the Jade Pure sect anymore, I'll challenge you again after you leave. With that, Huang Jihao left. Hanju smiled disdainfully and thought to himself, wait for me to leave the Jade Pure sect? Can you wait your whole life? He turned around and left. Not long after, the elders of the Jade Pure sect rushed over. When they saw the scene of the sword chi slashing past, they couldn't help but feel alarmed. However, they guessed that it was Hanju. Otherwise, the battle would not have stopped. Is there another powerful enemy? After leaving the Jade Pure sect, Huang Jihao stood on his flying sword, feeling indignant as he healed his injuries. Damn it, how dare you trick me? Huang Jihao was about to go mad. If Hanju had revealed his identity from the start, how could he have been careless? If he had been on guard, how could he not have taken the blow? Alright, he couldn't block it regardless. But he wouldn't have agreed so easily. Sigh. I was careless. Just as Huang Jihao was in depression, A figure appeared in front of him, blocking his path. Who are you? Why did you come from the Jade Pure sect? The newcomer was a cultivator in green. He was handsome and imposing. He carried a sword case on his back with 4 swords inside. Huang Jihao was in an extremely bad mood. He immediately snorted. What does that have to do with you? Scram. The green-robed cultivator laughed. How dare you be so impolite to me? Aren't you afraid of death? Haha, who do you think you are? Then let's fight. Let's see who's the real deal. Follow new episodes on the light novel world. Platform. You're courting death. Boom. Back in the cave abode, Hanju had just sat down when 2 lines of words appeared in front of him. You secretly defeated Huang Jihao and obtained a numinous treasure. Congratulations on obtaining a 6th grade numinous treasure. Burning Fiend Bell. Burning Fiend Bell. A 6th grade defensive numinous treasure. It can defend against all attacks below the Void Amalgamation realm. After injecting Spirit Chi, the bell body will increase in weight as Spirit Chi is injected until it becomes as heavy as a mountain. What a treasure! It could defend against all attacks below the Void Amalgamation realm. Great! Hanju took out the Burning Fiend Bell happily and sized it up carefully. The bell was black and exuded an ancient and evil aura. Hanju immediately started to drip blood on it. An hour later, he played with the Burning Fiend Bell. After successfully bonding with it, the Burning Fiend Bell was like his arm. When it enveloped him, he felt extremely safe. Wearing the golden cicada's mystic divine robe, and covered with the Burning Fiend Bell, he could dominate everything under the heavens. Hanju was extremely proud. Then he continued cultivating. The next morning, Fairy Shixian came to visit him. This was the first time she took the initiative to look for Hanju. Hanju stood up. Yuer told you about my senior Guan Yu gang. He returned yesterday, but he encountered Huang Jihao near the Jade Pure sect, and was severely injured. Fairy Shixian stopped in front of Hanju, and said directly, the fellow who said he wanted to be the sect master has just arrived, and he's already beaten up? Hanju couldn't help but mourn for him. Guan Yu gang was a little weak. Huang Jihao was already injured, yet he still couldn't defeat him under such circumstances. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Such a person wanted to become Dao companions with his master. How unfortunate. Hanju sighed. How unfortunate. Hanju sighed. What else could he say when Fairy Shixian mentioned this? Fairy Shixian stared at him and asked. Senior Guan said that he happened to encounter Huang Jihao coming out of the Jade Pure sect. A forest near the sect was destroyed. It's suspected to be some kind of sword chi. Did Huang Jihao want to challenge our Jade Pure sect, but was repelled by you? Hanju nodded and said, yes. Fairy Shixian sighed. I didn't expect the famous Huang Jihao to be defeated by a junior like you. Hanju gestured for her to sit down. Fairy Shixian sat on a nearby chair and continued. I came to find you because I hope that you can help me suppress Senior Guan. Suppress Guan Yu gang? Hanju was confused. Sect Master might not be as powerful as Senior Guan, but he has done his best for the sect. For the Jade Pure sect's sake, he even delayed his cultivation. It would be a pity to take him down from the position of Sect Master. Besides, this Senior Guan of mine is only seeking revenge, and not really considering the sect. When his injuries are healed, I'll let him challenge you first. If he can defeat you, he can become Sect Master. How about it? Fairy Shixian said softly, her tone and gaze unchanged. Hanju hesitated and said, yes, but it's best to quietly carry out this battle. If it's spread in the sect, it will definitely spread in the cultivation world. I don't want to be in the limelight too much. Otherwise, it will attract endless trouble. Previously, I helped the Jade Pure sect deal with the viridescent nether cult, and made a name for myself. This is also why Huang Jihao came. Of course, this will save Senior Guan some face. Hanju nodded. Fairy Shixian suddenly looked at the black hell chicken in the corner, and asked in surprise, how did you raise this chicken? It looks extraordinary. The black hell chicken raised its head and snorted. I'm a phoenix. Master told me that I will become a phoenix sooner or later. Fairy Shixian smiled. A chicken wanted to become a phoenix? I got it from a farmer from the sect. It's quite boring to cultivate normally. It's not bad to have company, Hanju explained with a smile. He said nothing about the black hell chicken's origins. Even if he did, who would believe him? The difference between a chicken and a phoenix was like that between a snake and a dragon. Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. Fairy Shixian looked at him again and said, "The Immortal Domain meeting that happens once every 100 years is about to begin. I have the Immortal Domain token, and can give it to you. This meeting is a rare event. You can obtain all the equipment, pills, treasures, and even cultivation techniques you want there, as long as you have enough resources." Immortal Domain meeting? It sounded very impressive and lively. This person was like you when he was young. He was high-spirited and by chance, he fell into the demonic path and became the leader of the Raincoat sect. I heard from Grandmaster that in his generation, the leader of the Raincoat sect was the strongest. This time, you can test his strength, but don't be reckless. If you can't defeat him, quickly retreat. Don't worry. I may be arrogant, but I'm not stupid. Of course. 7 years passed quickly after Fairy Shixian visited him. Hanju's cultivation level had reached the 7th level of the nascent soul realm, and he was already chasing after the 8th. For more, visit Light Novel World. Besides training, Hanju had been paying attention to other people's situations through the interpersonal relationships function and emails. After Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were caught by the Raincoat sect, their cultivation levels increased. In the past few years, they had not been attacked by the Raincoat Saint either. It seemed like they had given in. However, their identities didn't become disciples of the Raincoat sect. Hanju guessed that they were only pretending to give in. Li Qingzi, on the other hand, was frequently attacked by the Raincoat sect and was frequently injured. This sect master was really working too hard. For the sake of his disciples, he had been running around everywhere. He was injured all the time and would continue to be injured when he recovered. In addition, Guan Yugang had never come to find Hanju. Hanju could understand. Even Huang Jihao was no match for him. How could this fellow dare to challenge him? It was worth mentioning that the Black Hell Chicken had grown faster and faster recently. Its strength was already equivalent to an 8th level Qi refinement realm cultivator. Not to mention a chicken, even if it was a cultivator, very few could achieve this speed. The more it grew, the more curious it became about the outside world. Hanju had to brainwash it. It's very dangerous outside. Many people want to eat you. You must be invincible before you can leave. Otherwise, you will definitely die. Even I, your master, don't dare to leave either. As time passed, the Black Hell Chicken no longer dared to think about leaving. It only wanted to cultivate. One fine day, Li Qingzi visited again. Hanju noticed that his aura was weak and his expression was not good. It seemed that he was seriously injured this time. Li Qingzi gritted his teeth and said, "Something terrible has happened. Maple Leaf Valley has been destroyed by the Raincoat sect. The next target is most likely our Jade Pier sect. Before Maple Leaf Valley's sect master passed away, he sent a message to me. He said that there are 10 soul formation cultivators in the Raincoat sect, and they are enough to sweep through the cultivation world of the Great Yin dynasty." The source of this content is Light Novel World. When Hanju heard that, he asked, "Then why aren't we running?" Li Qingzi was stunned. "Why aren't we running? Is this something you should say?" Li Qingzi roared in his heart. "Why aren't we running? Is this something you should say?" Li Qingzi roared in his heart. The reason why he came to find Hanju was to let him know so that he could prepare. He didn't expect Hanju to want to leave directly. Li Qingzi said gloomily, "Where can we escape to? There are so many disciples. Even if we escape, we have to escape from the Great Yin cultivation world. However, if we go to other cultivation worlds, those sects will definitely not let us have a foothold and will only swallow us. The Jade Pier sect will still perish." Hanju frowned. He wanted to say that it was fine if the Jade Pier sect perished, as long as they were still alive. The Jade Pier sect is in danger of being annihilated. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately run away. You will be hunted down by the Raincoat sect as you wander the world. You can obtain equipment. 2. Protect the sect. People only live once. You cannot retreat forever. After defeating the Raincoat sect, you can obtain a numinous treasure, a sword technique manual, and an egg of a divine beast of providence. Hanju didn't make a decision immediately, but thought carefully. Even if he escaped, where could he run to? After exterminating the Jade Pure sect, the Raincoat sect would definitely continue to attack and sweep through the cultivation world of the Great Yin dynasty unless they joined them. Join if he couldn't win? This was no longer keeping a low profile. It was cowardice. Why don't we wait and see? If we can't beat him, we can still escape. He wore the golden cicada's mystic divine robe and held the burning fiend bell. With the wind god technique, how could he not escape? Hanju asked. When will the Raincoat sect come? 10 years at most. It will take them time to clean up the mess in Maple Leaf Valley. Hanju sighed and said, Sect Master, why is our Jade Pure sect being targeted one after another? I thought that our sect was very strong. Li Qingzi was embarrassed and blushed. He gritted his teeth and said, The Jade Pure sect is indeed powerful, but the strongest one, who is also the founding ancestor, went to search for the path of becoming a land deity. He left for 500 years without any news. If he was here, how would they dare to attack us? 1,000 years ago, in the final battle against the Raincoat sect, the founding ancestor was the greatest contributor. Hanju raised his eyebrows. In other words, the Raincoat sect is seeking revenge? Li Qingzi nodded helplessly. To mortals, 1,000 years was extremely long, but in the cultivation world, it was not. Especially to a sect. Li Qingzi was the third-generation sect master of the Jade Pure sect, and his master, the Great Grand Elder, was the second. The founder left behind a treasure to contact him, the Great Grand Elder, and I have already used it. I wonder if the founder can sense it. If he can return, the Raincoat sect will be nothing to worry about. At that time, we will definitely become the strongest sect in the Great Yin cultivation world. Elder Han, we have to grit our teeth and endure this. As long as we can endure it, we won't have any threats in the future. You can cultivate in peace. The founder might even be able to teach you the cultivation techniques from the land of immortals. Visit Light Novel World. Calm for the best novel reading experience. Li Qingzi grabbed his hand and said in a serious tone. Hanju almost had goosebumps. He quickly pulled his hand back inside. All right, I'll face the Raincoat sect with you. But let me say this first. If I can't win, I can only run. Li Qingzi nodded solemnly and said, If we really can't win, I won't let you die with us. The two of them chatted for a while more before Li Qingzi left. Hanju wanted to ask him to take some pills to help him increase his cultivation, but Li Qingzi awkwardly said that the Jade Pure sect did not have any pills suitable for nascent soul realm cultivation. The Jade Pure sect lacked alchemists. Hanju turned to look at the Black Hell Chicken and said, Do you see? It's really dangerous. Even if we don't cause trouble, there are enemies who want to kill us everywhere. The Black Hell Chicken nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Master, are you confident? No. Shall we run quietly? Not bad, you've already received my teachings. Really, we'll wait for a while. That day, Hanju came to the inner sect and bought a beast-taming bag. It was convenient to bring the Black Hell Chicken along like this. After leaving the pavilion, just as he was about to return, a line of words suddenly appeared before his eyes. Detected bearer of Khanate Providence, checking its origin. Another bearer of Khanate Providence? The Jade Pure sect was truly a providence magnet. Hanju immediately chose to check. Xian Qingjun, third level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Her true identity is the Demon Lord's mortal body. She was born with an innate Dao heart and is extremely talented. 800 years ago, the Demon Lord wanted to surpass the Dao and ascend. Therefore, she created a mortal body. The main body is sealed in the depths of the essence soul. The mortal body travels the world and experiences the various aspects of life, consolidating the Dao heart. There are traces of her everywhere in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. 3 years ago, she joined the Jade Pure sect and has been hiding there since. Demon Lord. That was impressive. She had an innate Dao heart even as a demon? What kind of reverse cliché was this? Hanju was speechless. He followed the system's instructions and saw Xian Qingjun. This woman wore the Taoist robe of the Jade Pure sect. Her figure was average, and she was not outstandingly beautiful from the back. When she turned her head, Hanju assessed her. Her looks were average. She was a very ordinary female disciple. If one scanned the streets, they would easily pass her by without noticing her. Xian Qingjun stood by the street, watching people argue. Two male disciples fought over a beautiful female disciple. Should I seduce the demon lord? She's about to ascend, and is at least a Mahayana cultivator. Hanju thought silently. Then he shook his head. Forget it. He wanted to avoid trouble. Hanju turned around and left. At this time, he didn't notice Xian Qingjun glancing at him. Xian Qingjun has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability, 1 star. Hanju paused, his face full of question marks. What the hell? He turned around and met Xian Qingjun's gaze. Crap. The demon lord was paying attention to him. Hanju panicked for some reason, and smiled politely at her. Xian Qingjun's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability, 2 stars. Hanju hurriedly left. Visit Light Novel World. Calm for a better experience. Xian Qingjun turned around and followed him. After leaving the inner sect city, Hanju immediately used the wind god technique and returned quickly. After returning to the Khanate cave abode, Hanju sat on the bed in a panic. I hope she just thinks I'm pretty and doesn't really have her eyes on me. Hanju thought silently. He wasn't stupid. Even if Xian Qingjun liked him, he wouldn't have a better life. After all, she was the demon lord. How many years had she been roaming the mortal world? How could she fall in love with someone at first sight and give up everything? If Hanju tried to please her, there would only be one outcome. Slavery. Xian Qingjun came to the cave abode and saw the words on the mountain wall. Endure today, freedom tomorrow. She tried not to laugh. This kid is interesting. Xian Qingjun smiled. But then, her expression suddenly turned serious. These words make sense. Xian Qingjun thought for a moment and left. After she left, Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. I hope she'll give up the desire for me, Hanju muttered to himself. The black hell chicken asked, What desire? Hanju said angrily, My desire to eat you. Ah, that woman wanted to eat you, master? In other words, was that woman stronger than Hanju? Hanju had a strange expression and said, In a sense, yes. Updated from Light Novel World. Com. Because of the pressure brought by the Raincoat sect, Hanju cultivated even harder. Because of the pressure brought by the Raincoat sect, Hanju cultivated even harder. The black hell chicken could only suffer in silence. As Hanju tried his best to absorb qi, the spirit qi in the cave abode surged into his body. The speed at which the black hell chicken drew in spirit qi was suppressed. 7 years later, Hanju finally broke through to the 8th level of the nascent soul realm. He still felt that time was tight. If he could break through to the soul formation realm before the Raincoat sect attacked, he would be even more confident. Hanju absorbed qi while checking his interpersonal relationships. Your friend Zhou Fan was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X87. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X87. Your good friend Emoju was attacked by a fellow disciple. Your good friend Li Qingzi was attacked by a fellow sect member and was severely injured. Why was Li Qingzi attacked by a fellow sect member? Hanju was stunned. Was there another spy? He immediately checked the Jade Pure sect. Nascent Soul Realm cultivators were not spies. Wait, could it be Guan Yugang? Hanju was right. It was Guan Yugang. Guan Yugang didn't dare to challenge the deity-slaying elder, so he gave up on becoming the sect master. However, he couldn't take it lying down, so he looked for Li Qingzi to spar and took the opportunity to vent. The elders of the sect were extremely displeased with him due to this. The Jade Pure sect was in danger now, but he was still causing trouble. Did he still want to be the sect master in such circumstances? After Guan Yugang was scolded, he went into seclusion and anger, and no longer showed himself. However, he didn't leave the sect. He obviously had the Jade Pure sect in his heart. Hanju didn't know any of this. He continued to read the emails. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Calm Fairy Xixian, Chang Yuer, and Xing Hongxian were all fine. The other good friends were more or less fighting with others, including Xian Qingjun. Xian Qingjun's cultivation was still at the third level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Han Ju suspected that she didn't cultivate at all, and only observed others. When Han Ju was thinking to himself, he suddenly sensed a presence. Xian Qingjun. This woman was here again. Is fellow Taoist here? Can I pay you a visit? Hearing Xian Qingjun's voice, Han Ju became nervous. He thought about it. The other party definitely knew that he was here. If he pretended to be out, the favorability might be gone. The other party was the Demon Lord. Her favorability was definitely better than hatred. After thinking, Han Ju opened the cave abode's stone door. Xian Qingjun walked over. She couldn't help but smile when she saw him. Han Ju was helpless. The black hell chicken still remembered Xian Qingjun's aura. It screamed in terror. Please. Don't eat my master. Xian Qingjun was confused. Han Ju felt a little awkward. He glared at the black hell chicken, who dared not speak again. She walked in front of Han Ju and said with a smile, I'm a disciple of Jade Bamboo Peak, Xian Qingjun. I met you in the inner sect a few years ago, and was shocked. From then on, your figure was buried in my heart. I came to visit you rashly this time. I hope that you won't blame me. How direct. Han Ju felt awkward and didn't know how to reply. Senior's handsomeness is truly rare in this world. You're simply unparalleled. Junior is willing to offer a treasure. I hope that senior brother won't reject me. Xian Qingjun smiled. With a flip of her hand, a jade piece appeared. Han Ju asked curiously, what is this? This is the Heavenly Immortal Abode token. The Heavenly Immortal Abode is the cultivation holy land of the cultivation world. Only by obtaining the Heavenly Immortal Abode token can one cultivate there. Once there, one can reach the nascent soul realm at the very least. Xian Qingjun smiled and explained. She snorted in her heart. I don't believe you won't be tempted. Brat, I want you simply due to your good looks. Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. Han Ju shook his head and said, Thank you for your kind intentions, Junior. It's just that I don't want to leave the Jade Pure sect. I plan to cultivate in the sect forever. Xian Qingjun froze on the spot. She changed treasures again and said, This is the Earth Spirit Sword. It can easily kill Golden Core Realm experts. Not enough. I'll give you another bottle of pills to break through to the Golden Core Realm. I'll give you another body tempering cultivation technique. I'll add 3 more spell techniques. Damn. She was really rich. If it was 100 years ago, Han Ju definitely wouldn't have been able to resist. He really didn't want to work hard anymore. Han Ju hesitated for a moment and said, Actually, I'm already at the nascent soul realm. He no longer hit his cultivation level. He revealed his 8th level nascent soul realm cultivation level, and then hit it again. Xian Qingjun was shocked. She instantly guessed the truth and asked, You are the deity-slaying elder? Han Ju nodded. The other party was the Demon Lord. Since she had targeted him, she would definitely not let this matter rest. Xian Qingjun was even more delighted. She had not expected that her judgment would be so good, that she would directly capture the most mysterious and powerful deity, slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect. Xian Qingjun's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability. 4 stars. She took out another bottle of pills from her sleeve and said, This is a first-grade nascent soul pill. It can help you increase your cultivation speed. Is 1 bottle enough? If not, I'll give you another. As she spoke, she took out another bottle of nascent soul pills. This time, Han Ju really couldn't take it anymore. He carefully asked, Junior, what's your background? Xian Qingjun finally realized that she had been exposed. But it didn't matter now. My identity isn't important. I want to become Dao companions with you. I wonder if senior brother is willing? Xian Qingjun asked with a smile. Han Ju frowned and asked, Since you can take out so many treasures, you must be extraordinary. Can you help us deal with the Raincoat sect? If the Demon Lord took action, then it would be safe. Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. Xian Qingjun shook her head. No, I only care about you and not the Jade Pure sect. Could it be that you cultivate for the sect? Hanju remained silent. Indeed, it was not so easy to command the demon lord. But these 2 bottles of nascent soul pills were very fragrant. It was very difficult for him to reject them. If I promise you, what price will I pay? Hanju asked cautiously. Xian Qingjun covered her mouth and laughed. I won't eat you. We'll cultivate together. You'll only become stronger. That's great news for you. Xian Qingjun wants to become your Dao companion. You have the following choices. 1. Reject. How can we male cultivators be threatened by a woman? You will obtain the demon lord's hatred and a sword Dao mystical power inheritance. 2. Accept. The 2 of you will become Dao companions. You will be affected by karma and providence. You will be able to obtain the favor of the demon lord and obtain a mystical power inheritance. What would happen if he rejected Xian Qingjun? Would the demon lord show up? That was a big shot who was about to ascend. Hanju sighed in his heart and said, in that case, I will become Dao companions with you. You have successfully become Xian Qingjun's Dao companion. You have obtained a mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining mystical power. Somersault cloud. Somersault cloud. Movement mystical power. 1 somersault can travel 100,000 miles. Xian Qingjun's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability for 5 stars somersault cloud? Amazing. Hanju's eyes lit up. This was a godly escape technique. Haha. If the demon lord acted recklessly at this time, he would immediately do a somersault and escape for 100,000 miles. Xian Qingjun smiled and put down the 2 bottles of nascent soul pills in her hand. From now on, you're my cultivation partner. Cultivate well. I'll come to you when I need you. With that, she turned and left. Hanju couldn't help but ask, other than me, do you have any other Dao companion? Xian Qingjun paused and snorted. How can that be? I don't like mortals. If not for the fact that I needed a companion, and that you were extremely handsome, I wouldn't have chosen you. She quickly left. Follow current novels on Light Novel World. Calm Hanli looked at the 2 bottles of nascent soul pills beside his bed in despair, and remained silent for a long time. The black hell chicken asked timidly, Master, will she still eat you? After Xian Qingjun left, Hanju opened 1 bottle. There were 12 pills in each bottle. After Xian Qingjun left, Hanju opened 1 bottle. There were 12 pills in each bottle. He first used the 6 paths spirit energy to test it. After confirming that it was not poison, he started to take it. Soon, he was pleasantly surprised to find that the effect was very strong. It was more than twice as powerful as Yi Sanlang's pill. As expected of the demon lord, she was generous. Hanju held back his surprise and started cultivating. In a dark underground palace, pa, 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 the sound of the whip striking flesh could be heard. Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were tied to wooden stakes. 2 raincoat sect members lashed out with their whips, causing blood to splatter all over the ground. Many cultivators who were cultivating in the distance could not bear to watch. Sigh, these 2 from the Jade Pure sect are really stubborn. Yes. Every year, they have to run away and get beaten up. Yet they don't give up. How pitiful. Why didn't the sect kill them? If we kill them, how will we win their hearts? Actually, it is a good idea to join the Raincoat sect. The cultivators discussed. After a while, Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were put down. One had the demon saint's bloodline. The other was the reincarnation of a Mahayana cultivator. At this moment, both of them were gasping for breath. The whips of the Raincoat sect members were not ordinary. They were made from the tendons of some kind of demonic beast. When it struck his body, it was as if a piece of flesh had been torn off by a rake. It was extremely painful. Yang Tiandong lay on the ground and gritted his teeth. This is your plan? We were caught before we even got out. Zhou Fan was extremely aggrieved. His eyes were filled with tears. How many years had it been? They failed to escape every time. Damn it. If I succeed in the future, I will definitely make your sex suffer. Let's stop struggling and wait for Master to come. Yang Tiandong sighed. Updated from Light Novel World. Come Master, why aren't you here yet? 10 years ago, Li Qingzi came and wanted to save them but failed. However, before he left, Li Qingzi sent a voice transmission to him, telling him that Han Ju would come sooner or later, and asked him to help stabilize the hearts of the other disciples. It was these words that made Yang Tiandong persist. Zhou Fan said angrily, "Your master is so timid, it's impossible for him to come." He already knew that Han Ju was the deity-slaying elder. Although he was shocked, he understood his personality. This person's talent was indeed terrifying, but he was too afraid of death. A person who was so afraid of death would not save them. If he wanted to, he would have saved them already. Yang Tiandong gritted his teeth and said, "Don't worry, my master will definitely come. He might be secretly watching to see if I can endure this, and if my Dao heart is stable enough." Zhou Fan rolled his eyes. He felt that this kid had gone mad. Sigh. Not only him. Even Zhou Fan himself could not hold on much longer. 2 years later, Han Ju forcefully broke through to the 9th level of the nascent soul realm. It had to be said that the Demon Lord's pills were very useful. He had to think of a way to ask for more in the future. At first, Han Ju was worried that Xian Qingjun would look for him often, but he was just dreaming. It seemed that Xian Qingjun was not greedy for his physical body. She had become his companion, so that she could use him as her Demon Lord self in the future. Han Ju didn't dare to trust her completely. Before that, he had to become as strong as possible. What if Xian Qingjun wanted to squeeze him dry? 4. 5 stars of favorability did not mean that Xian Qingjun would not harm him. How many people were killed for love? In his previous life, foreign movies often promoted this spirit, especially those superhero movies. Han Ju began to inherit the somersault cloud mystical power. The somersault cloud's movement distance was related to the spiritual power infused into it. It did not have a fixed distance to travel. After the inheritance succeeded, he would then test it using the strongest person in the Jade Pure sect. The strongest was Guan Yu Gang, who was at the 2nd level of the soul formation realm. Han Ju continued to search for nascent soul realm cultivators. He heaved a sigh of relief when he didn't find anyone from the Raincoat sect. There was still time. He could continue cultivating and strive to break through to the soul formation realm as soon as possible. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. Han Ju perked up and continued absorbing qi. A month later, Li Qingzi came to find him. Han Ju frowned and asked, "Is the Raincoat sect here?" He was already close to the soul formation realm. But the enemy came at this time? How annoying. That's not the case. Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect ambushed the Raincoat sect and ended up being captured by them. The Vermilion Bird Sword sect is furious and wants to join forces with us to attack them. The situation has turned around. Li Qingzi became more and more excited. He really loved Huang Jihao now. This guy really knew how to cause trouble. He had done the right thing this time. Han Ju raised his eyebrows. "Not bad, my little Huang. Then all of you can go. Call Elder Guan over. I'll guard the Jade Pure sect. You can even mobilize all the nascent soul experts." "I alone am enough," Han Ju said seriously. Li Qingzi's face twitched. "You're really low profile," Han Ju said in a low voice. "I'm about to break through to the soul formation realm. I need time." Hearing that, Li Qingzi's body shook and he was overjoyed. Han Ju could slay a soul formation realm cultivator at the nascent soul realm. When he broke through to the soul formation realm, wouldn't that mean? He dared not imagine. Li Qingzi said excitedly, "All right. You can stay here and break through. Leave this matter to us. Other than the Vermilion Bird Sword sect, other sects should join forces with us. Then I wish Sect Master success." The two of them did not chat for long before Li Qingzi left excitedly. Before leaving, he played with the Black Hell Chicken. Annoyed, the Black Hell Chicken took advantage of the moment when he turned to peck his ass. Li Qingzi was furious. However, after sensing Han Ju's gaze, he quickly left. Han Ju shook his head and laughed. This cockroach is just like a child. Cockroach was the nickname he had given Li Qingzi. He simply could not be killed. Half a year later, Li Qingzi and Guan Yu Gang left the Jade Pure sect with a dozen nascent soul elders, core disciples and elite disciples. This matter caused a huge commotion in the inner sect. Everyone knew that something big was about to happen in the cultivation world. On the other hand, Hanju came to the Pet Beast Pavilion, took out his Elder Token, and entered the 10,000 Demon Realm. Follow current novels on Light Novel World. He planned on transcending the tribulation there. The soul formation tribulation would cause too much commotion and could easily level a mountain. He didn't want to destroy his Khanate cave abode, so he thought of the 10,000 Demon Realm. Before coming, he had asked Fairy Shixian, and she had suggested that he come to the 10,000 Demon Realm. If he were to face tribulation outside the sect, it would be troublesome if he encountered enemies. After entering the 10,000 Demon Realm, Hanju found a plane and meditated. He took out a first-grade nascent soul pill and consumed it. Half a year passed. Hanju relied on the pills and quickly reached the state of breaking through. He took a deep breath. Before transcending the tribulation, he clicked on interpersonal relationships. Li Qingzi and the rest were still alive. That was good. However, it seemed that some of the elders were gone. Hanju couldn't remember who they were. After killing Duan Tongtian, many elders had a favorable impression of him. For the time being, nothing major had happened. He could break through. Hanju immediately perked up and prepared to break through. As the spirit chi of heaven and earth surged into his body, the rolling thunderclouds also began to gather. All the beasts in the 10,000 Demon Realm became uneasy. A terrifying heavenly might enveloped this small world. With the golden cicada's mystic divine robe and the 6 paths of reincarnation technique, Hanju's tribulation was naturally nothing difficult. It had to be said that the power of the soul formation heavenly tribulation far exceeded that of the nascent soul heavenly tribulation. Fortunately, the 6 paths spirit energy was strong enough. Hanju didn't use the burning fiend bell. He wanted to rely on his own strength to transcend the tribulation. Many cultivators died during the tribulation transcendence. Hanju's potential and cultivation technique naturally wouldn't let him fail. Several days later, Hanju successfully broke through. First level of the soul formation realm. You have successfully broken through to the soul formation realm and obtained a Sword Dao mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining the mystical power. 10,000 Sword Sect. 10,000 Sword Sect. Using one's own sword chi to summon the sword shadows of ancient swords in the long river of history. Summoning quantity is related to one's own spirit energy. Hanju opened his eyes, and the 6 paths spirit energy in his body started to increase. This content is taken from Light Novel World. It was like a stream turning into a river, then a sea. At that moment, a shadow flew out from the top of his head. It had his appearance. His essence soul left his body. Name, Hanju. Name, Hanju. Lifespan, 158/3007. Race, mortal. Cultivation, level 1 of the soul formation realm. Technique, 6 paths of reincarnation can be inherited. Magic, unparalleled finger divine sword, 7 illusionary steps, 3 pure shadow sword unparalleled, 9 dragons devil expelling seal, major Kiliacosm thunderstorm, wind god technique. Mystical power, 6 paths soul absorption, heavenly punishment ghost deity sword, imitate heaven and earth, somersault cloud 10,000. Sword sect can be inherited. Equipment, golden cicada's mystic divine robe, 7th grade numinous treasure, little universe belt, Qilin sword, demon binding rope, burning fiend bell 6th grade numinous treasure. Cultivation potential, spiritual physique of the 6 paths. It contains top-notch wind, fire, water, earth, wood and thunder cultivation potentials. Increases providence to a certain extent. Khanate providence is as follows: unparalleled, immortal beauty, top-notch charm. Destined sword fanatic. Top-notch sword Dao aptitude. Top-notch sword Dao learning ability. Unparalleled movement technique. Top-notch movement technique aptitude. Descendant of the immortal emperor. After the game begins, you will receive an unparalleled cultivation technique and 1,000 superior grade spirit stones. Check interpersonal relationships. First level of the soul formation realm. 3,000 years of life. Hanju was pleasantly surprised. The nascent soul realm was only a little over 1,000 years old, but the soul formation realm directly tripled his lifespan. Great. Immediately, Hanju took out the burning fiend bell and covered himself before continuing to consolidate his cultivation. 2 days later, Hanju began to inherit the legacy of the 10,000 Sword Sect. 10,000 Sword Sect was a large-scale killing technique. The heavenly punishment ghost deity, Sword was more like a straight-line attack. Both had their strengths. Relying on his top-notch sword cultivation potential and comprehension ability, Hanju grasped the 10,000 Sword Sect in less than half a day. He stood up and left. Arriving at the teleportation formation, the disciples guarding it looked at him with admiration. The commotion from the tribulation was too terrifying. The disciples immediately thought of the deity slaying elder. Updated from Light Novel World. Calm before long, Hanju returned to his cave abode. The moment it saw him return, the black hell chicken immediately perked up and rushed over. Master, you're finally back. I thought you were eaten by that woman. Hanju glared at it and said angrily, What are you thinking all day with that chicken brain of yours? Master, am I not a phoenix? But you're a chicken now. Cultivate before you become a phoenix. Fine. The black hell chicken was stunned. Cultivate well. How long do I have to cultivate? Hanju sat on the bed and continued cultivating. He absorbed qi as he activated the simulation trial. He set Huang Jihao's cultivation level to the 9th level of the soul formation realm. Insta-kill. Hanju was satisfied. It's settled. When the raincoat sect comes, I'll teach them a lesson. Hanju thought for a moment and set Huang Jihao's cultivation level to the 1st level of the void amalgamation realm. It took Hanju 5 minutes to kill him. He frowned. No. Too long. I've to continue cultivating. The smugness in Hanju's heart dissipated, replaced by a strong sense of danger. If he couldn't insta-kill the enemy would have a chance to turn the tables. In a dark underground palace, Zhou Fan and Yang Tiandong sat in a corner. Paying attention to the raincoat sect members, Zhou Fan asked, Why are there so few of them? Yang Tiandong opened his eyes when he heard this, and then he said in a low voice, Something might have happened. He immediately became excited. Is Master coming to save me? Zhou Fan narrowed his eyes and whispered, Little brother, do you want to escape again? Yang Tiandong shuddered. Senior, forget it. Let's just wait for the sect to save us. Useless. I don't want to be beaten. We cultivators are not afraid of such pain. How can you prove your Tao heart? How can you pursue the path of immortality? I understand, but it's really painful. Yang Tiandong's expression was as if he was wearing a mask of pain. Recalling the torture, he couldn't help but tremble. Zhou Fan was frustrated and felt that Yang Tiandong was useless. Boom! The underground palace shook violently. Li Qingzi's voice followed. All disciples of the Jade Pure sect prepare to resist. Kill your way out and destroy the raincoat sect with me. Zhou Fan and Yang Tiandong were overjoyed. They were finally here. A year passed in the blink of an eye after breaking through to the soul formation realm. Hanju was still in seclusion. Occasionally he would pay attention to the emails. By the looks of things, the Jade Pure sect and the Raincoat sect were at war. Guan Yugang and Li Qingzi were heavily injured again. It was truly tragic. His disciple Yang Tiandong had also been attacked by the Raincoat sect. It seemed that he had already joined the main force, which was why he had been able to keep fighting. Hanju could only cheer for them in his heart. He had an even more important duty, which was to protect the Jade Pure sect. Now, Hanju was not worried about the Raincoat sect launching a sneak attack on the Jade Pure sect. Instead, he was worried about enemies far away. What was worth mentioning was that the cultivation of the Black Hell Chicken was already equivalent to a Foundation Establishment Realm cultivator. Its cultivation speed was getting faster and faster. It was lying in a corner like an elephant. Its feathers were extremely magnificent. Although it was a chicken, it had the aura of a divine pheasant. When Hanju sized up the Black Hell Chicken in satisfaction, Xian Qingjun suddenly came to visit. Seeing her again, Hanju's expression was very unnatural. Although Xian Qingjun was only at the Foundation Establishment realm, there was a Mahayana demon lord hidden in her soul that he could not offend. I heard that our deity slaying elder broke through in the 10,000 demon realm. Xian Qingjun sat beside him and asked with a smile. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. For the past year, there had been rumors that a mighty figure had transcended the tribulation in the 10,000 demon realm. Even the nascent soul elders did not dare approach. The disciples guessed that it was the mysterious deity-slaying elder. Hanju was very unnatural. His body was a little stiff. He pretended to be calm and asked, "Why are you looking for me? Was she going to start?" "Oh, his virginity." Hanju panicked. "I'm leaving. I came to say goodbye." Xian Qingjun smiled. Hanju was stunned. "Leaving?" Xian Qingjun asked. "What do you want before I leave? I'll try my best to satisfy you. I don't know how long it'll be before we meet again." Hanju asked in surprise. "You're leaving just like that? You're not going to?" Xian Qingjun rolled her eyes at him and snorted. "You seem excited for it, keep dreaming. I need you, but not now. Don't think that I'll stay with you every day. It's not time yet." "That's good." Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. He almost lost his virginity. He muttered, "Are there any pills that can increase the cultivation of soul formation realm cultivators?" Xian Qingjun immediately took out 4 pill bottles from her sleeve. "These are soul formation spirit enhancing pills. I only have these 4 bottles on me. I'll give them all to you." Hanju thanked her hurriedly. Xian Qingjun reached out and used her finger to lift his chin. She smiled and said, "I won't be able to bear not seeing your face for many years. However, it's inconvenient for me to bring you along. In the future, you should stay in the Jade Pure sect and cultivate well. Don't run around. The cultivation world is very dangerous. Although you're already at the soul formation realm, you're not invincible." Hanju nodded unnaturally. Xian Qingjun teased him and left. Hanju wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. The pressure the Demon Lord gave him was truly great. It seemed that the Demon Lord was really only passing by the Jade Pure sect, and did not have any ulterior motives. She was probably going to other places to comprehend the Tao and experience the myriad forms of life. Sigh, my damned unparalleled charm. Even the Demon Lord couldn't resist it. But then again, how fragrant. Hanli looked at the 4 bottles of soul formation stage spirit-enhancing pills beside him in joy. After Xian Qingjun left, the Black Hell Chicken said excitedly, "Congratulations, Master. You don't have to worry about being eaten by her anymore." Hanju couldn't be bothered with it and continued practicing. He wanted to master the 5th level of the 6 paths of reincarnation technique first, before taking pills to strengthen his cultivation. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Platform. Raincoat Sect. Raincoat Sect. In the sect master's palace, several elders stood side by side. All of them had extraordinary auras. They wore black robes and looked like ghosts. In front of them, a man sat on a golden chair. This man wore a white robe. His hair was disheveled and his skin was fair. However, his face was covered in wrinkles, making him look very old. He was the sect master of the Raincoat Sect, Huang Zuantian. Huang Zuantian frowned and asked, "Does the Vermilion Bird Sword sect really want to fight us to the death?" The elders immediately replied, "That's right, they're courting death. I suggest that we kill Huang Jihao to intimidate them. Huang Jihao's mouth is too foul. I also feel that it's better to kill him. The Vermilion Bird Sword sect only wants to save him. There are only 2 soul formation cultivators in the Vermilion Bird Sword sect, and there are only 2 in the Jade Pure sect. One of them doesn't dare to come. With this strength, even if they fight for 100 years, they won't be able to take down our small world." Exactly. Hearing the elder's words, Huang Zuantian's brows did not relax. He asked hesitantly, "If they're so fearless, could there be a mysterious force supporting them?" A tall elder couldn't help but say, "Sect Master, you're thinking too much. We're the strongest in the great yin cultivation world. Don't be so fearful. Can you have some confidence?" Ever since the great battle 1,000 years ago, Huang Zuantian had changed. He always thought of the worst. It was because of his change in personality that the Raincoat sect had remained hidden for 1,000 years. Now that the sect had become stronger, the elders forced Huang Zuantian to give the order to unite the great yin cultivation world. However, Huang Zuantian was too cautious. In fact, it could be said that he was cowardly, causing the unification plan to be delayed. If not for Huang Zuantian's orders, those captured disciples would have long died. I suggest that we send 2 elders to attack the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and the Jade Pure sect. Their sects will definitely lack combat strength. This is a good opportunity. An elder suggested. His words were approved by the other elders. This was indeed a good opportunity. Huang Zuantian frowned and said nothing. Finally, the elders looked at him, waiting for him to make a decision. Follow new episodes on the light novel world.com platform. Huang Zuantian asked hesitantly. Must we fight? We must fight. Alright, then I'll do it myself. I'm worried about you guys. I'll go to the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and the Jade Pure sect myself. Will that do? Sect master is wise. The elders laughed, but their smiles were helpless. If the sect master went, he would probably stall for time. Several months later, Hanju had mastered the 5th level of the 6 paths of reincarnation technique and comprehended a new mystical power. More accurately, it was the advanced version of 6 paths soul absorption. He could absorb souls and store them in the depths of his essence soul. This move could protect the soul and also confine it. In addition, he could also leave a 6 paths insignia. The 6 paths insignia would exist forever. No matter how many times the other party reincarnated, it would still remain. It was equivalent to crossing the reincarnation cycle to find the other party. That was good. If he met someone he cared about in the future, he could leave behind the 6 paths insignia and meet them in their next life. The higher his cultivation realm, the more domineering the 6 paths spirit energy became. He took out the pills and continued cultivating. The first level of the soul formation realm was not enough. He wanted to be stronger. His next target was the void amalgamation realm. Hanju no longer cared about the Raincoat sect. He was worried about the demon taming sect. He didn't forget about Xiaoyi. This guy's image was still in his interpersonal relationships. He was still as ugly as ever. His hatred was still so great that he wouldn't rest until he was dead. The key was that Xiaoyi was not the sect master. That was ridiculous. How powerful was the demon taming sect? While Hanju was worried, Chang Yuer came to visit. To be precise, Fairy Shixian invited her. Fairy Shixian rarely invited Hanju, so Hanju naturally had to give her face. The source of this content is Light Novel World.com. He immediately went forward. When he arrived at the Jade Serene Hall, most of the disciples were present. The eldest disciple Lu Sanxin had already finished his apprenticeship and became a core disciple. The current eldest disciple was the 7th senior from back then, Meng He. When Meng He saw Hanju again, he was a little embarrassed, but he still bowed respectfully. Under his command, the other disciples followed suit. The disciples were puzzled but quickly guessed the truth. There were rumors that deity-slaying elder came from Jade Serene Peak. He was extremely handsome and unparalleled. Could it be this person? They secretly sized him up. They couldn't help but be stunned by Hanju's appearance. What a handsome man. It was definitely him. All the disciples looked at Hanju with admiration. Chang Yuer stood in front of him very proudly. She even wanted to hold Hanju's arm, but he cleverly avoided her. Meng He instructed all the disciples not to reveal Hanju's identity. The disciples promised. Soon, Fairy Shixian arrived, and all the disciples sat down. Hanju was still sitting at the back. Elder Han, come sit beside me, Fairy Shixian said. With a wave of her right hand, a meditation cushion appeared beside her. Hanju hesitated for a moment before walking over. He sat beside Fairy Shixian in puzzlement. What's Master trying to do? Is she going to pass her position to me? No way. It's too troublesome to manage Jade Serene Peak. Hanju thought worriedly. The sect master has sent a message back. He said that they have already met up with the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and are currently attacking the Raincoat sect. The imprisoned disciples have also been rescued, but he's worried that the Raincoat sect will attack us because they only encountered 5 soul formation experts. The other 5 must have other arrangements. For the time being, I hope that everyone will leave seclusion and patrol the inner and outer parts of the sect. Fairy Shixian spoke with a solemn expression. Among the disciples of the 18 peaks, our Jade Serene Peak contributed the least. Other than us, it's also because of the sect master's favoritism towards us. Do you understand? Her voice was very soft, but it made all the disciples feel a surge of strength. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Everyone's spirit was ignited. After cultivating for so many years, it was time to draw their sword. Hanju nodded slightly. He wasn't as excited as the disciples. Fairy Shixian glanced at him and asked, Elder Han, are you confident in dealing with the soul formation stage cultivator from the Raincoat sect? The disciples quietened down and looked at Hanju expectantly. Soul formation was too far away for the disciples. If they were really sent to deal with soul formation stage cultivators, wouldn't that be suicide? Not even their master, Fairy Shixian, could do it. Hanju took in their expressions and finally understood why Fairy Shixian looked for him. So it was to calm them down. Sigh. I only wanted to cultivate in secret, but the sect keeps getting beaten up. After thinking about it, Hanju said, I have experience dealing with soul formation cultivators. He spoke very humbly, but to the disciples, it was domineering. The elder before them had killed a soul formation cultivator before. It was said that it was an insta-kill. The disciples cheered and showed their respect for Hanju. All right, you can go and prepare. This matter will be arranged by your eldest senior brother. Also, regarding the deity slaying elder's identity, you're not to spread it. Only the Jade Serene Peak knows about this. Fairy Shixian instructed. The disciples bowed and left. Soon, only Hanju and Fairy Shixian were left in the Jade Serene Hall. Fairy Shixian tilted her head and looked at him. She asked softly, Which level are you at? Stunned, Hanju asked curiously, What level? Cultivation level. Oh, first level. Why are you still at the first level? Fairy Shixian frowned. After being in seclusion for so many years, even with Hanju's absurd aptitude, he couldn't improve much? Hanju coughed and said, First level of the soul formation realm. Did Li Qingzi not tell her that he was about to break through? For more, visit Light Novel World. Fairy Shixian was stunned. Fairy Shixian shook her head and laughed, not knowing what to say about Hanju. Fairy Shixian shook her head and laughed, not knowing what to say about Hanju. This kid, he really knew how to keep people in suspense. You want to see me make a fool of myself? Looks like you no longer treat me as your master. After all, as your master, I've never taught you anything. Fairy Shixian snorted. Hanju shrugged and said, You asked too suddenly. I didn't take a detour. Besides, I asked you before for a suitable location to undergo tribulation. Fairy Shixian shook her head and laughed. How could she have thought that Hanju would break through to the soul formation realm so quickly? How many years had it been since he entered the nascent soul realm? Then she continued to ask. If you have any needs, feel free to ask. You have done more for the sect than the sect has done for you. There's no need to be polite. Needs? Hanju thought for a moment. Is there a cultivation pill for the soul formation realm? No. Then try your best to help me strengthen the spirit chi in the cave abode. Yes, I'll think of something. Hanju had his own cultivation technique and spell inheritance, so he didn't need the teachings of the Jade Pure sect. The reason why he had stayed in the sect was that he had no other good place to go. Instead of wandering around, it was better to cultivate here in peace. After a short conversation, Hanju got up and left. Fairy Shixian looked at his back and asked, How long can you stay in the Jade Pure sect? Hanju stopped and turned to look at her. Why do you ask? If I wanted to run, I would have run away long ago. Fairy Shixian shook her head and said, I'm not afraid that you'll run away. It's just that you've grown too quickly. When the time comes, this small temple won't be able to hold a giant Buddha like you. There are many sects more powerful than the Jade Pure sect in the cultivation world. It is in man's nature to strive for better, especially for ascetics like you. Back then, the founding ancestor left the Great Yin to pursue a higher realm. She sighed as she thought of that. Hanju smiled and said, Perhaps. If I really want to leave one day, I will tell you in advance. With that, he turned around and left. To seek the great Tao in a wider world? Nonsense. He'd rather be the peak of this world than the bottom feeder of a higher realm. In any case, his potential was top-notch. If he cultivated in peace, he could constantly become stronger. Why would he need to go out and adventure? After returning to the Khanate cave abode, Hanju began to meditate. The black hell chicken suddenly said, "Master, I heard the cries of the chickens from the foot of the mountain. When I heard their voices, my heart inexplicably throbbed. I wanted to rush out. Why? Could it be the demonic technique you spoke of?" This content is taken from Light Novel World. Calm Hanju raised his eyebrows and said, "Yes, you must restrain this urge. If you follow it, you will fall into eternal damnation and never become a phoenix. This is a test of the heavenly Tao." Could it be that sexual urge had arrived? It couldn't resist the sound of a hen? The moment the black hell chicken heard that, it tensed up. Its feathers stood up as though it was a rooster about to fight. "Thank you for your reminder, Master. I almost fell for it. The path of cultivation is truly fraught with danger." The black hell chicken lamented. Hanju secretly laughed. "Even I'm still a virgin. You can forget about having fun. Just be a child forever." Immediately, Hanju and the black hell chicken entered cultivation. When he was free, Hanju would instill his ideas into the black hell chicken. Everything was inferior, only cultivation was superior. Cultivators were all superior. A cultivating chicken was a superior chicken among chickens. In the blink of an eye, 2 years passed. Hanju had yet to break through to the second level of the soul formation realm. But by relying on the pills, he was already approaching it. He did not stop. Instead, he continued to cultivate and strive to break through as soon as possible. One fine day, the Raincoat sect was finally here. It was sect master Huang Zuantian, and an accompanying elder. This elder was known as Spiritual Master Shan Kuei, and he was also in the soul formation realm. Huang Zuantian landed on the top of the mountain and looked warily at the 18 peaks of the Jade Pure sect. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei wore a raincoat. Under the brim of his hat, his eyes were extremely cold and contained killing intent. "Sect Master, attack," Spiritual Master Shan Kuei said with disdain. "This is the Jade Pure sect. So weak. Not even a single soul formation expert is present. There were less than 10 nascent soul experts left. They were not enough to kill." Huang Zuantian hesitated. Too weak. Could it be a trap? If it were me, I wouldn't dare to attack the Raincoat sect like this. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei was speechless. What's there to be afraid of? They're just going all out. Otherwise, they'll be swallowed up by us sooner or later. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Calm Huang Zuantian was silent. Seeing how cowardly he was, Spiritual Master Shan Kuei was furious. If not for the fact that he could not win, he really wanted to snatch the position of sect master. "No, I feel uneasy. There's something wrong." Huang Zuantian frowned. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei went mad and said in a low voice, "Sect Master, this opportunity will never come again. If the Raincoat sect is buried in our hands, how can we face the previous sect master?" Huang Zuantian frowned. Inside the Khanate cave abode, Raincoat cult is about to invade the Jade Pure sect. Hanju opened his eyes and immediately inspected the strongest person present. Huang Zuantian, 9th level of the soul formation realm, sect master of the Raincoat sect. He's extremely cautious and doesn't like killing. The sect master was here? Extremely cautious? Doesn't like killing? Hanju blinked and thought that he had seen wrongly. Was the Raincoat sect really not a fiendish cult? Hanju no longer thought about it. He cautiously activated the simulation trial and first fought with Huang Zuantian. 3 breaths later, he opened his eyes again. He breathed a sigh of relief. He slowly stood up and prepared to leave the cave abode. The black hell chicken was extremely nervous. "Master, are you running away?" It quickly stood up and prepared to run. Hanju said angrily, "We'll run away if I can't beat him. Wait here." With that, he turned into a gust of wind and rushed out of the cave abode. Soon, he found Huang Zuantian and Spiritual Master Shan Kuei. The two were still arguing. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei tried to persuade him, but Huang Zuantian stopped him from moving abruptly. Seeing Hanju flying over, The two of them immediately stopped and looked at him warily. Hanju stopped less than 100 feet away from them. Visit Light Novel World. Calm for the best novel reading experience. He looked around curiously and asked, "Just the two of you?" Huang Zuantian's heart raced. This tone. It was indeed a trap. When Spiritual Master Shan Kuei saw that he was only at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm, but dared to rush over, and even said such words, he knew that this person definitely had a cultivation concealment technique. He had naturally heard of the legendary deity-slaying elder. Could this person be the deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect? However, Duan Tongtian had just entered the soul formation realm. He was completely incomparable to them. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei said in a low voice, "Isn't the two of us enough? Fellow Taoist is really arrogant. Then, I'll properly test your cultivation." Hanju ignored him and looked at Huang Zuantian. This was the sect master of the Raincoat sect. He was indeed very imposing. However, his gaze seemed evasive, almost like he was afraid. Hanju said, "Sect master, I heard that you don't like killing. Why are you targeting our Jade Pure sect?" Huang Zuantian hesitated to speak. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei shouted angrily, "Cut the crap!" He suddenly attacked, the silver dagger in his hand shooting at Hanju. A cold light flashed. So fast. Ding! The silver-white dagger was repelled just as it was about to touch Hanju, as if it had hit an invisible bell. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei's pupils widened. He was about to cast a spell and prepare for his next move. Hanju raised his hand at lightning speed. The 3 pure shadow sword materialized out of thin air and charged towards Spiritual Master Shan Kuei. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei instinctively dodged, but the 3 pure shadow sword was too fast. It was so fast that even he, a soul formation cultivator, could not dodge in time. Boom! Spiritual Master Shan Kuei was directly killed, and his body turned into a bloody mist. Huang Zuantian's eyes widened in shock. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. After Spiritual Master Shan Kuei's corporeal body was destroyed, his essence soul had just emerged when Hanju appeared out of thin air in front of him. He raised his hand and used the 6-path soul absorption to suck his essence soul into his hand. After Spiritual Master Shan Kuei's corporeal body was destroyed, his essence soul had just emerged when Hanju appeared out of thin air in front of him. He raised his hand and used the 6-path soul absorption to suck his essence soul into his hand. Hanju then squeezed hard and directly crushed it. It was a complete slaughter. Huang Zuantian's eyes widened. He didn't even have time to help. Too fast. Hanju killed Spiritual Master Shan Kuei as easily as stepping on an ant. There really was a trap. Huang Zuantian immediately turned around and chose to escape. Hanju jumped and moved in front of Huang Zuantian, stopping him. Somersault Cloud. His movement distance was related to the amount of 6-path spirit energy he used. It might be difficult to move 108,000 miles, but moving for a short distance was nothing to Hanju. Huang Zuantian was stunned. He looked at him in shock. Hanju took out the Qilin sword and pointed it at him. "Wait! Don't make a move. I can make the Raincoat sect ceasefire." Huang Zuantian said in a low voice as a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Hanju raised his eyebrows. "I need to cut the weeds by the roots, understand?" Huang Zuantian actually admitted defeat. Hanju thought of his introduction. Huang Zuantian did not like killing. Could it be that he didn't want to attack the Jade Pure sect? Because of that, the actions of the Raincoat sect were delayed like this? Huang Zuantian said helplessly, "Actually, I don't want to create so many conflicts, but I'm the leader. I bear the responsibility of the entire sect. If I didn't take the initiative, countless disciples of the Jade Pure sect would have died. Right now, all of them are still alive and well." That was the truth. Zhou Fan and Yang Tiandong were still alive. Hanju hesitated. If it was really as Huang Zuantian said, then he could still control the Raincoat sect. If he killed him, the entire Raincoat sect would go crazy. At that time, they would take revenge crazily, and Hanju wouldn't be able to hunt them down all over the world. "As long as you let me go, I'll definitely order the Raincoat sect to stop attacking the Jade Pure sect." Huang Zuantian said solemnly. Hearing this, Han Ju's eyes flickered. Huang Zuantian heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that they could negotiate. At this moment, follow new episodes on the light novel world.com platform. Han Ju suddenly attacked, slashing with his sword. Heavenly Punishment Ghost Deity Sword. Huang Zuantian was shocked. He hurriedly raised his hand to block, and his surging spiritual qi forcefully blocked the terrifying sword qi. However, he was still forced back, blood spilling from his mouth. Fellow Taoist. You. Huang Zuantian was furious. Huang Zuantian developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 2 stars. Han Ju sneered. Perhaps Huang Zuantian had no choice in this matter. But how could Han Ju let him go so that he could attempt to change the situation? He could make the raincoat sect stop attacking? If he couldn't do it before, why could he do it now? It was better to just kill him and intimidate the raincoat sect, preventing the Holy Ghost from creating more trouble. Han Ju raised the Qilin sword and pointed it at the sky. The 6 paths spirit energy in his body erupted and soared into the sky. In an instant, a blue light appeared in the sky like an ocean. It was dazzling. Sword shadows appeared from it and quickly solidified. Huang Zuantian formed hand seals with both hands. 4 scepters appeared and revolved around him. He looked at the sword shadows in the sky and panicked. What kind of spell is this? No, it's a mystical power. Han Ju was using the 10,000 sword sect. 10,000 sword shadows hung high in the sky. How spectacular was that? All of them pointed at Huang Zuantian, causing his limbs to turn cold. He quickly activated the formation, and the 4 scepters immediately pulled away. Spiritual energy burst out from the 4 corners and formed a rectangular formation. Han Ju brandished his sword. 10,000 sword shadows attacked Huang Zuantian. Like a school of carps crossing the river, divine weapons descended from the sky. Boom! The 10,000 sword sect collided with Huang Zuantian's formation, scattering the surrounding clouds. Huang Zuantian's robe fluttered wildly. He gritted his teeth and resisted with all his might. What a powerful technique. Follow current novels on Light Novel World.com. Huang Zuantian was extremely nervous and regretful. If he had known, he would have followed his instinct. He wouldn't have listened to those fools and personally come to the Jade Pure sect. I knew it. The Jade Pure sect was truly fearless. As Huang Zuantian cursed in his heart, his spirit formation shattered. The violent sword shadow collided with his body, causing him to spit out blood and fly backward. He was not directly killed. It seemed Huang Zuantian was not so weak. As he flew back, he quickly turned around and flew into the sky. He seemed to have used some sort of mystical power as well. His body transformed into a streak of light and disappeared without a trace. He couldn't be allowed to escape. Han Ju immediately used the somersault cloud while tracing his aura. Since they had already fought, he had to kill the enemy. Han Ju moved faster. After a somersault, he stood in front of Huang Zuantian. Huang Zuantian was almost scared to death and immediately waved his hand. In a flash, Han Ju took out the Burning Fiend Bell and smashed it at him. With a boom, Huang Zuantian's right palm struck the Burning Fiend Bell, causing him to feel dizzy. The Burning Fiend Bell rapidly expanded as Han Ju waved his right hand. The bell was first raised, then smashed down heavily, directly pressing Huang Zuantian down. He crashed into the forest. The Burning Fiend Bell continued to slam repeatedly as the ground shook violently. The forest within a radius of several hundred meters was flattened. Huang Zuantian's corporeal body was smashed. He quickly summoned his essence soul and wanted to continue escaping. But his speed was nothing compared to Han Ju. Han Ju used the 6 paths soul absorption and directly sucked Huang Zuantian's essence soul into his palm. The battle ended. Huang Zuantian, who was at the 9th level of the soul formation realm, faced Han Ju, but was just like Duan Tongtian, unable to fight back. Another boss was defeated by me. I'm really strong. Han Ju smiled in satisfaction and returned to the Jade Pure sect. The location of the previous battle had already attracted the elders of the sect. Han Ju used the Wind God technique and circled around them, quickly returning to the Khanate cave abode. The Black Hell Chicken saw him and quickly asked, "Master, how is it? Should we run?" "I'm ready." Hanju rolled his eyes at it and said, Your master, don't attack without full confidence. If I do, the enemy will definitely die. The black hell chicken was stunned for a moment before slowly lying down. Hanju sat on the bed. He raised his right hand and released Huang Zuentian's essence soul. Trapped by the six paths spirit energy, his essence soul could not escape. Upon seeing Hanju, Huang Zuentian's face was filled with fear. He asked in a trembling voice, Who are you? He's too powerful. Although Huang Zuentian was cautious, he was still confident. He had never thought that he would lose so badly. Hanju said expressionlessly, Zhao Zilong of Chang Mountain. The black hell chicken was confused. Who is Zhao Zilong? Which sect is Chang Mountain? Huang Zuentian was also puzzled. Hanju asked, There aren't any great grand elders in your sect, right? The reason why he did not destroy Huang Zuentian's essence soul was to obtain information. Now his six-path soul absorption could seal essence souls or normal souls, making interrogation easier. Huang Zuentian hesitated and said, Yes, but he's already left the Great Yen. Now I'm the strongest in the Raincoat sect. Can you let me go? If you really can't, I'll leave the Raincoat sect and join the Jade Pure sect. In order to survive, he could let go of his dignity. Hanju raised his eyebrows. This fellow's personality was very similar to his. How despicable. Hanju snorted. Let's see how you perform. With that, he closed his right palm and threw Huang Zuentian's essence soul into the depths of his soul, imprisoning it. With Huang Zuentian gone, the Raincoat sect was nothing to worry about. He could cultivate in peace. Hanju smiled and continued cultivating, charging towards the second level of the soul formation realm. The source of this content is lightnovelworld.com. The sect master of the Raincoat sect, Huang Zuentian, and the elder spiritual master Shan Kuei, headed to the Jade Pure sect. However, there was no news from them for several years. The sect master of the Raincoat sect, Huang Zuentian, and the elder spiritual master Shan Kuei, headed to the Jade Pure sect. However, there was no news from them for several years. Being attacked by the Jade Pure sect and the Vermilion Bird Sword sect, the Raincoat sect started to panic. Especially the elders. With Huang Zuentian and the elders' abilities, they should be back soon. Why did it take so long? Did something happen? They recalled Huang Zuentian's worries and couldn't help but panic. Thus, they ordered all the outer sect disciples to rush back to the sect and defend against the attacks of the Jade Pure sect and the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Previously, when dealing with the two sects, the Raincoat sect seemed very relaxed. Just the cultivators guarding the sect were enough. Now they were afraid. They were afraid that a mysterious enemy would appear. After a long time, the Jade Pure sect and the Vermilion Bird Sword sect received a request from the Raincoat sect. The latter released all the captives from the two sects, including Huang Jihao. The Jade Pure sect and the Vermilion Bird Sword sect also retreated and returned home. After fighting for so many years, they were indeed tired. It had been 5 years since he defeated Huang Zuentian. Relying on the pills, Hanju quickly broke through to the third level of the soul formation realm. He had also used up all his pills now. Without soul formation realm cultivation pills, he discovered that the spirit chi in the Khanate cave abode was actually a little thin to him. How many years would it take for him to break through to the void amalgamation realm? No matter how powerful a cultivation technique was, it still depended on the surrounding spirit chi. When Hanju was a little troubled, Yang Tiandong suddenly returned. After entering the cave abode, he pounced in front of Hanju and started crying. Master, after so many years, I've finally seen you again. Do you know how much I've suffered all these years? The most up-to-date novels are published on lightnovelworld.com. I always believed that you would come and save me, Master. Sect Master told me that if not for you presiding over the Jade Pure sect, he wouldn't have dared to come and save us. Yang Tiandong cried in an earth-shattering manner. The black hell chicken cocked its head and blinked, staring at the stranger. Hanju felt ashamed. He didn't save Yang Tiandong mainly because he was afraid. Hanju said, Disciple, you performed well. I will teach you spells next. Yang Tiandong's favorability toward you has increased. Current favorability, 3 stars. Yang Tiandong was moved to tears and kept kowtowing. Then, Hanju introduced the black hell chicken to him. Yang Tiandong had already discovered the black hell chicken, but he had no time to ask. You must be Master's disciple. You can call me Brother Chicken from now on. Brother Chicken? Hanju was speechless. Yang Tiandong was also stunned. The black hell chicken harumphed. I'm a phoenix. Sooner or later, I'll bring Master up to the 9 heavens. For some reason, the moment it saw Yang Tiandong, it felt inexplicably hostile. It did not like his aura. It was the first time Yang Tiandong saw such a big chicken. He was a little flustered, afraid that he would say something wrong and offend Hanju. Alright, go cultivate at the side. In a few days I'll teach you a spell, Hanju said. Yang Tiandong was pleasantly surprised when he heard this. He nodded obediently, and hurriedly walked to the side to meditate. Hanju continued cultivating. It seemed that Li Qingzi and the rest had returned. Indeed, the next day at noon, Li Qingzi came to visit. Visit Light Novel World. Come for a better experience, ha ha ha. Elder Han, the spy I planted in the Raincoat sect told me that the sect master is missing. Did he come to the Jade Pure sect? Did you kill him? Li Qingzi asked excitedly. Yang Tiandong looked at Hanju expectantly. Hanju hesitated for a moment before nodding slightly. It was good that he revealed this, so that Li Qingzi would not worry and disturb him all day long. As expected of Elder Han, you're the greatest contributor to our Jade Pure sect. The sect master of the Raincoat sect is dead. They probably won't dare to cause trouble for a long time. Li Qingzi was extremely happy and couldn't stop talking. Most of the time, Hanju responded politely. After he finished speaking, Hanju smiled and said, It's time for the Jade Pure sect to cultivate peacefully. Sect master, stop running around and cultivate properly. Every time he saw Li Qingzi getting beaten up, Hanju would worry for him. Li Qingzi smiled and said, Right, there's one more thing. In at most half a year, the ancestor will be back. In another 5 years, it will be the Jade Pure sect's millennium ceremony. It will be a joyous occasion for the sect. Although it was delayed for 2 years, it doesn't matter. I will invite all the sects to participate and build a good relationship with them. At that time, do you want to appear? I can help introduce you to the cultivation world and let them know who the most powerful deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect is so that your name can shake the cultivation world. Hanju hurriedly said, No, I can't tell anyone that I killed the leader of the Raincoat sect. Let's pretend that we don't know about this. I don't want to show my face either. I just want to cultivate properly. If the sect master wants to create hype for me, you'll be harming me instead. I've killed so many enemies for the Jade Pure sect. If this gets out, I'm dead. At that time, I can only run and leave the sect. Li Qingzi agreed after hearing these reasonable words. Before leaving, Hanju expressed his recent problem and asked Li Qingzi to help increase the concentration of spirit qi in the cave abode. Li Qingzi immediately agreed. After leaving the cave abode, Li Qingzi began to worry. How else can I raise it? The spirit qi here is already the densest in the entire sect. I can only wait for the ancestor to return. Li Qingzi was vexed. He had already transplanted the best natural treasures over, but Hanju was still not satisfied. This fellow's breakthrough speed is too fast. As soon as Li Qingzi left, words appeared in front of Hanju. You successfully protected the sect and defeated the Raincoat sect. You obtained a numinous treasure, a sword technique manual, and an egg of a divine beast of providence. Congratulations on obtaining a 5th grade numinous treasure. 9 stars spirit trampling boots. Congratulations on obtaining the manual, Heartless Flying Sword. Congratulations on obtaining the chaotic heavenly dog. Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. 9 stars spirit trampling boots. 5th grade numinous treasure. It can step on and absorb spirit qi. Its flying speed is extremely fast. It can increase the effect of movement mystical powers and movement techniques. Heartless Flying Sword, Heartless Sword Technique. After cultivating this sword technique, one's emotions and lust will decrease. The lethality of this sword technique is extremely high. Chaotic Heavenly Dog, one of the ancient divine beasts of Providence. Legend has it that the heavenly dog devours the moon, currently in an egg state. Hanju couldn't help but smile. Finally, the 9-star spirit trampling boots were good, being very suitable for running away. Great! In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Hanju was still at the 3rd level of the soul formation realm. During this period of time, he passed the heartless flying sword to Yang Tiandong, while not cultivating it himself. Yang Tiandong liked it very much. With his outstanding aptitude, he became proficient in the heartless flying sword in 3 years, and made a name for himself in the inner sect. He only advanced to an elite disciple half a year ago. He was about to break through to the golden core realm. The chaotic heavenly dog had already hatched. It was even hatched by the black hell chicken. The black hell chicken did not know how to hatch an egg. Hanju had taught it. It had yet to establish its own values and morals, so it did not object. After the chaotic heavenly dog hatched, it would especially take care of it. The present chaotic heavenly dog was already the size of a calf. It had silver fur and looked like a fat wolf. That's right. It was fat. The black hell chicken's plump body made it think that it looked better that way. Therefore, it also fattened the chaotic heavenly dog. Hanju didn't stop it. Plump pets were the cutest. His cultivation level far exceeded the chaotic heavenly dog. Since it couldn't surpass him, he didn't expect the pet to fight. What was worth mentioning was that the chaotic heavenly dog was arrogant by nature. It dared to challenge the black hell chicken when it was only 2 years old. This often caused the black hell chicken to go berserk, so the Khanate cave abode was often in chaos. Updated from lightnovelworld.com. One fine day, when Yang Tiandong returned from his mission, he was very excited. One fine day, when Yang Tiandong returned from his mission, he was very excited. Ancestor, the ancestor is back, Yang Tiandong said. Hanju did not open his eyes. He immediately checked the strongest person in the Jade Pure sect. Taoist 9 Cauldrons. 8th level of the Void Amalgamation Realm. Founding ancestor of the Jade Pure sect. 8th level of the Void Amalgamation Realm. Nice. Hanju immediately felt a sense of security. With such a powerful figure guarding the sect, it shouldn't encounter any more tribulations, right? Hanju said softly, cultivate well. With that, he started the simulation trial and fought Taoist 9 Cauldrons. Yang Tiandong rubbed his nose awkwardly. He originally had a lot to say, but seeing that his master did not want to listen, he could only obediently walk to the side and start cultivating. The chaotic heavenly dog stared at him and whispered, "Brother Chicken, his aura is so irritating." The black hell chicken narrowed its eyes. Yes, I feel the same. Although their voices were low, Yang Tiandong could hear them clearly. He was speechless. Was his half-demon bloodline so irritating to demons? Yang Tiandong felt wronged, but he didn't dare to say anything. After a while, Hanju opened his eyes and thought, is this the Void Amalgamation Realm? Not bad. He had lost. With the Wind God technique and the somersault cloud, he barely lasted for a few minutes. It was still very difficult for a cultivator at the 3rd level of the Soul Formation Realm to fight a cultivator at the 8th level of the Void Amalgamation Realm. Hanju took a deep breath. He had a goal. He wanted to defeat Taoist 9 Cauldrons as soon as possible. For the next period of time, the entire Jade Pure sect was very lively. Firstly, the Millennium Ceremony was coming. Secondly, the founder had returned. The source of this content is Light Novel World. Calm under the publicity of the elders of the 18 Peaks. All sorts of legends about Taoist 9 Cauldrons spread. A cultivator who had lived for more than 1,000 years was extremely rare in the entire cultivation world of the Great Yen. Hanju was still in seclusion and did not go out. Several days later, Li Qingzi came to visit. Taoist 9 Cauldrons followed. He was tall and had a head full of white hair. He had the bearing of an immortal. Hanju stood up and bowed. Yang Tiandong followed suit. The black hell chicken and chaotic heavenly dog sprawled on the ground, as they quietly looked at Taoist 9 cauldrons. After Taoist 9 cauldrons entered the cave abode, he first looked at the black hell chicken and the chaotic heavenly dog, and then said in surprise, "These two beasts are not simple. Young friend, where did you get them?" The others of the Jade Pure sect could not see the origins of the two beasts, but Taoist 9 cauldrons could sense that they were extraordinary. After all, he had traveled the world and was very knowledgeable. Li Qingzi couldn't help but turn around. "Since when was there a dog?" Han Ju smiled and said, "I got them by chance." Taoist 9 cauldrons smiled and didn't ask further. He walked to a chair and sat down. He looked at Han Ju and said, "Young friend, it's all thanks to you that the Jade Pure sect was able to survive. Otherwise, the sect would have been destroyed. I came especially to thank you, and also brought an opportunity." Opportunity? Han Ju frowned. In his understanding, as long as it was not something directly given to him, it was a risk. Danger. It was easy to get into trouble. I left the great yin cultivation world 1,000 years ago to seek the land of immortals. After that, I went overseas and lived in the mortal world. Now I'm already the vice sect master of a sect. This time, I'll bring some geniuses to cultivate there. When their cultivation reaches a phenomenal stage, they can return to the Jade Pure sect. Are you willing to go? Taoist 9 cauldrons stroked his beard and smiled. Overseas vice sect master? Han Ju was speechless. Your hometown was almost gone, but you went to join someone else's sect and made a name for yourself. Han Ju asked cautiously, "Is your sect invincible overseas?" "It's difficult to be invincible, but it's still one of the overlords." Overlord? Are there enemies? Visit Light Novel World. Calm for a better experience, of course, but there's nothing to be afraid of. It's very difficult to overturn our sect. There are many Void Amalgamation Realm experts in our sect. Oh, thank you for your kind intentions, ancestor. I won't be going. Han Ju shook his head and rejected. The outside was so dangerous. If they weren't an invincible sect, they would definitely face danger. In the Great Yin, the Jade Pure sect no longer had any enemies. The strongest Raincoat sect was about to fall. Taoist 9 cauldrons smiled. They said that you are very cautious. It seems that you are afraid that it will be dangerous to go overseas? That's true. Back then He began to brag about his adventures. Indeed, no matter what world it was, old men were always talkative and loved to brag. Han Ju listened quietly. After Taoist 9 cauldrons spoke for a long time, Li Qingzi finally had a chance to speak. Elder Han, it's fine if you don't want to go. It's also good to stay in the Jade Pure sect. Next, the ancestor will help our sect develop. At that time, the Jade Pure sect will definitely become the overlord of the great yin cultivation world. You want to cultivate diligently, right? No problem. I'll try my best to help you search for natural treasures. From now on, the entire mountain will be yours. I can expel the disciples from the other cave abodes and leave them for you and your disciples in the future. Li Qingzi smiled. He was the sect master and naturally didn't want Han Ju to leave. Taoist 9 cauldrons had put it nicely. How could the geniuses be willing to return from a better sect? Of course, this was unless they were not doing well and were often oppressed. If Han Ju left with him, what would happen if the Jade Pure sect encountered danger again? Taoist 9 cauldrons smiled and said, "That's right. I'll stay for at least 50 years before leaving. I'll first reform the Jade Pure sect and turn it into the holy land of the great yin cultivation world. During this time you can consider it." A line of words appeared in front of Han Ju. You are invited by Taoist 9 cauldrons and Li Qingzi. You have the following choices. 1. Follow Taoist 9 cauldrons and go overseas. You can obtain a bottle of cultivation pills, equipment, and a numinous treasure. 2. Continue to stay in the Jade Pure sect. Cultivate while keeping a low profile and strive for stability. You can obtain a mystical power inheritance. Han Ju smiled and said, "Thank you, ancestor and sect master. I'll stay in the Jade Pure sect first." He silently chose the second option. In terms of choices, the first option may be better, unlike in the past. But he thought about it. There was no need for him to go overseas. Perhaps the spirit chi here was far inferior, but he had no enemies and could cultivate peacefully. If he went overseas, he might encounter many troubles. Hanju didn't have any blood feuds or terrifying enemies. Why would he want to go out? In addition, Li Qingzi's suggestion was also good. This cave abode was indeed small, and the entire mountain was just right for him. As for the other disciples on the mountain, Hanju could only apologize. He believed that Li Qingzi could weigh the pros and cons. You choose to stay in the Jade Pure sect. Obtained a mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining the mystical power. Tathagata incantation. Tathagata incantation. Buddhist mystical power. It can vanquish ghosts and suppress evil spirits. Buddhist mystical power? Interesting. Hanju thought silently. The three of them continued to chat. Less than 3 days after Li Qingzi and Taoist 9 Cauldrons left, all the other cultivators on the mountain moved out. Under Li Qingzi's arrangements, a group of mortal servants came to plant the treasures. This batch of treasures was likely brought back by Taoist 9 Cauldrons. Their quality clearly exceeded the previous ones. Not only that, Li Qingzi even personally came to the foot of the mountain to set up a formation for Hanju. The treatment was as good as it got. When this matter reached the inner sect, the disciples thought that the sect master wanted to nurture a cultivation holy mountain. All of them began to look forward to it. Little did they know that this mountain only belonged to one person. Hanju didn't interfere with the matters outside the cave abode, and cultivated in peace. The Black Hell Chicken and the Chaotic Heavenly Dog were also cultivating diligently. Soon, Yang Tiandong left the cave abode. Li Qingzi intended to nurture him and let him take over the Jade Pure sect. Firstly, it was because of his potential, and secondly, it was to rope Hanju in. Half a year passed quickly. On this day, Xing Hongxian came to find Hanju. The disciples of the various peaks had been ordered not to come to this mountain. However, Xing Hongxian had Taoist Jingshu's support, so she dared to come. Hanju let her in. This content is taken from Light Novel World. Calm husband, I picked up a treasure recently, and specially came to give it to you. Xing Hongxian happily sat down next to Hanju, and took out a jade pearl the size of a baby's fist. After Hanju took the bead, and scanned it with his divine sense, his expression immediately turned strange. Xing Hongxian said excitedly, "This pearl can automatically gather the spirit chi of heaven and earth, and create chi-gathering pills automatically. This is a good treasure." Hearing Xing Hongxuan's words, Hanju's expression became even stranger. The reason was that his divine sense discovered a soul hidden in the jade pearl. Hearing Xing Hongxuan's words, Hanju's expression became even stranger. The reason was that his divine sense discovered a soul hidden in the jade pearl. This soul was a fierce spirit filled with a malevolent aura. It was obviously not a good thing. Hanju asked, "Where did you find this pearl?" After he explained the situation of the ferocious spirit in the jade pearl, Xing Hongxuan's eyes widened in disbelief. After that, she frowned and said in a low voice, "I obtained it in a cultivation market. I participated in the auction and obtained a treasure. However, someone targeted me. He followed me and wanted to seize my treasure. In the end, he was killed by me, and I received this item from his storage ring. The fellow Taoist who accompanied me told me that this is a Khanate spirit gathering jade, and it's extremely rare. It's a cultivation sacred treasure. I heard that it was so amazing, so I brought it over to you." Hanju felt that something was amiss, but he couldn't figure it out. He immediately used the 6 paths soul absorption technique and eliminated the ferocious spirit inside. Then, he returned the Khanate spirit gathering jade to her. "Take it. I've already gotten rid of the evil spirit inside. This treasure won't be of much help to me. You, on the other hand, are about to break through to the Golden Core realm. You just happen to need this treasure," Hanju said seriously. Xing Hongxian subconsciously wanted to reject him, but Hanju continued, "Your cultivation is too slow. At this rate, the possibility of me becoming your husband will decrease. You should be thinking of increasing your cultivation speed." Xing Hongxuan's smile turned bitter. Hanju couldn't bear to watch this. After all, this was the woman who had the highest favorability towards him. With a flip of his right hand, he handed Xing Hongxian the spirit pills that he had seized in the past. These pills could help her break through to the Golden Core realm and help her increase her cultivation level. You were the one who gave me treasures in the past. I'll do the same to you now. Also, open a cave abode in the back mountain and cultivate, Han Ju said seriously. Xing Hongxian was pleasantly surprised and smiled sweetly. When Han Ju saw this, he inexplicably panicked. He said seriously, "We are not husband and wife yet. I hope that you will do your best to cultivate. Also, don't publicize our relationship. I have killed many powerful enemies for the Jade Pure sect. Don't become the enemy's weakness to threaten me, understand?" Xing Hongxian nodded obediently. Rascal. You still care about me." He said that he was afraid she would become his weakness, but he was actually worried about her safety. New novel chapters are published on Light Novel World. The more Xing Hongxian thought about it, the sweeter she felt. She recalled that back then, Han Ju was still a youth in her eyes. Now, he had become the powerful deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect. Such potential was unheard of in the cultivation world. She had to work hard. If this continued, she'd not be worthy of Han Ju. Xing Hongxian didn't stay for long. She wanted to seize this opportunity to get closer to Han Ju, but the Black Hell Chicken and the chaotic Heavenly Dog kept staring at her. Their eyes widened, making her feel embarrassed. A year and a half later, the spirit chi in the mountain, where Han Ju was at, increased greatly. Besides the spirit gathering array, Li Qingzi also set up a protective array. Under Han Ju's instructions, Xing Hongxian quietly moved to the back of the mountain and enjoyed the boundless spirit chi there. One fine day, the Jade Pure sect's Millennium Ceremony was about to begin. All the righteous sects of the cultivation world sent people to congratulate them. The Jade Pure sect welcomed an unprecedentedly lively event. It was said that the sect master of the Raincoat sect vanished after heading to the Jade Pure sect. In other words, it was very likely that he died there. This greatly elevated the Jade Pure sect's status in the cultivation world. No one dared to slight them. After Taoist 9 Cauldrons returned, he began to personally clean up the sect. The spirit chi in the 18 peaks and the inner sect cities also increased greatly. Although it wasn't as good as Han Ju's mountain, it was several times stronger than before. Not only that, but Taoist 9 Cauldrons also captured several great demons comparable to the nascent soul realm and imprisoned them in the 10,000 demon realm. The Jade Pure sect was growing day by day. Han Ju wasn't interested in the Millennium Ceremony, so he did not attend and continued cultivating. What was worth mentioning was that as the Black Hell Chicken and chaotic Heavenly Dog grew larger, the cave abode could no longer contain them. Han Ju chased them out half a year ago. They had to make their own cave on the mountain. At the same time, they were strictly forbidden from leaving the mountain's vicinity. The Black Hell Chicken had been instilled with values by Han Ju from a young age. Now it was already a very timid, a very cautious chicken. It often taught the chaotic Heavenly Dog to have the same temperament as it. However, the chaotic Heavenly Dog was naturally arrogant and despised it. Although the chaotic Heavenly Dog did not respect it, the Black Hell Chicken still relied on its strength to forcefully control it. Follow current novels on Light Novel World. No matter what, this dog was hatched by it. In Han Ju's words, this was its son. One fine day, a line of words suddenly appeared in front of Han Ju. Detected bearer of Khanate Providence, checking its origin. Another bearer of Khanate Providence. Han Ju already had an understanding of Khanate Providence. These were people with extraordinary fates. Some were jinxes, while some were children of destiny. A person with Khanate Providence was not absolutely powerful. Han Ju immediately chose to check the person's background. Su Qi, the reincarnation of the jinx of the heavenly court. He was born with bad luck and would bring calamity to the people around him. He had an extremely overpowering destiny, and the people around him were often forced to death by bad luck, while he would always be able to turn the situation around for himself. When he heard that the Jade Pure sect was the strongest sect in the cultivation world, he wanted to join it and learn an orthodox cultivation method. Special hint. Because you have the providence of the descendant of an immortal emperor, you are not affected by the jinx's bad luck. In addition, you are not allowed to kill the jinx. Otherwise, even your providence as the descendant of an immortal emperor cannot stop the overwhelming bad luck. What the heck? Reincarnation of a jinx? Hanju was speechless. Although his providence as a descendant of the immortal emperor could avoid the influence of the jinx, the Jade Pure sect could not. Hanju hurriedly scanned with his divine sense. Su Qi was walking towards the mountain. This was not good. Hanju hesitated for a moment before deciding to meet this jinx. At the foot of the mountain, a youth sat on a large rock, panting and wiping the sweat from his forehead. Although he wasn't handsome, his eyes were filled with spirit. He turned to look at the 18 peaks with blazing eyes. Why are you immortal here? Hanju's voice suddenly floated over. For more, visit Light Novel World. Calm, he appeared in front of Su Qi. Su Qi shivered in fear and hurriedly knelt in front of Hanju. Suppressing his excitement, he said, My name is Su Qi. I want to cultivate. I know the rules of cultivation sects, but I want to skip the outer sect and directly bring my talent into the inner sect of the Jade Pure sect. How arrogant. Hanju was speechless. Also, why did that sound so familiar? Hanju shook his head and said, You're old enough. You missed the best cultivation time. For the sake of peace and stability in the future, Hanju could only chase him away. Impossible, my talent is unparalleled. How about this? I'll teach you the qi gathering technique. You can find another place to cultivate and not join the Jade Pure sect. No, I have to join this sect. Are you not a member of the Jade Pure sect? I heard that the sect is holding a millennium ceremony and is inviting all sects in the cultivation world. Su Qi looked at him warily. Hanju was puzzled. How did this mortal know so many things? Are you really not leaving? No. All right. Hanju grabbed Su Qi and brought him back to the Khanate cave abode. Su Qi was thrown to the ground on his butt, hurting it. Hanju sat on the bed again and said, From today onwards, you can only stay here. You can forget about going out for the rest of your life. Since he was immune to Su Qi's bad luck, he was not afraid. As for why he did not kill him, he couldn't stand the overwhelming bad luck himself. Hanju was still worried that after killing Su Qi, this fellow would immediately regain his identity as an immortal of the heavenly court and find trouble with him. For more, visit Light Novel World. It was better to be cautious. Hearing Hanju's words, Su Qi was stunned. Then fear and despair filled him. He asked while shivering, Who are you? This is the Jade Pure sect. From what he knew, the Jade Pure sect was a righteous sect and would not do such a thing. Su Qi has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 2 stars, Hanju said calmly. I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. You have no choice now. Stay here from now on. Su Qi was terrified. He thought about it. Something was wrong. If Hanju was a bad person, he should have killed him directly. He was only an ordinary mortal, and not a disciple of the Jade Pure sect. What was the point of capturing him? Wait, could it be that the expert of the sect was testing him? When Su Qi thought of this, he immediately calmed down. He immediately walked to the corner of the cave abode and imitated Hanju. He began to meditate. Su Qi's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability, 3 stars. Hanju was stunned. From 2-star hatred points to 3-star favorability. What's happening? Is this kid mentally ill? Hanju ignored him and focused on cultivating. To prevent Su Qi from eating, drinking and defecating in his cave abode, he taught him the simplest qi absorption technique he had obtained. He would only teach him the first level, so that he won't become too hard to control. Hanju only wanted this kid's cultivation to not catch up to his. After being taught, Su Qi's favorability towards him reached 5 stars. The Millennium Ceremony was also in full swing. Visit Light Novel World. For the best novel reading experience, even in the cave abode. Hanju and Su Qi could hear Li Qingzi speaking to the entire sect. He recounted the history of the Jade Pure sect, causing Su Qi's blood to boil. He was indeed still in the Jade Pure sect. Han Ju must be an expert of the sect. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so daring. Su Qi made up his mind to cultivate well with Han Ju. The Millennium Ceremony passed very quickly. After the various sects left, the Jade Pure sect did not calm down. Instead, it became even more lively. Taoist 9 cauldrons, and Li Qingzi modified the inner and outer sects and created more and more rules. In addition, Taoist 9 cauldrons had also placed many good resources in the sect's treasure vault. There were cultivation techniques, spells, treasures, and so on. It could be seen that he was truly prepared for this return. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Han Ju successfully broke through to the 4th level of the Soul Formation realm. With the help of Taoist 9 cauldrons and Li Qingzi, the spirit qi in his mountain was more than 5 times stronger than before. Han Ju was very satisfied now, and didn't want to run around. He also didn't want to go overseas with Taoist 9 cauldrons. During this period of time, the Jade Pure sect recruited new disciples without restraint. The number of outer sect disciples increased greatly, but the number of inner sect disciples had yet to increase. The Jade Pure sect only took in disciples from the mortals, so as to prevent any spies. Taoist 9 cauldrons had not left for decades. This year, he left the sect with his core disciples. Chang Yuer came to visit Han Ju and told him about this. The Raincoat sect is finished. It's like a beaten dog now, hated by everyone, she said excitedly. The chaotic heavenly dog nearly exploded when it heard that. It couldn't help but ask, "What did you say about dogs?" To prevent Chang Yuer from meeting Su Qi and getting unlucky, Han Ju specially came out to see her. The two of them chatted in the woods. The chaotic heavenly dog and the black hell chicken also liked to stay here. Chang Yuer smiled and said, "I'm talking about a dog raised by mortals. You're different. Don't take it to heart." The chaotic heavenly dog felt that this made sense. She continued, "Under the founder's leadership, the Raincoat sect was utterly defeated. The founder emptied out all of their resources and let the Jade Pure sect use them in the future." Han Ju was very satisfied. Taoist 9 cauldrons helped the Jade Pure sect unify the great yin cultivation world before he left. This way, the sect wouldn't face the threat of annihilation again. For more, visit Light Novel World. Han Ju's impression of him improved. "How's your cultivation recently? When are you preparing to break through to the Golden Core realm?" Han Ju asked. Chang Yuer blinked and said, "I have something to tell you. Master wants me to follow the ancestor overseas." Han Ju nodded slightly. He was not surprised. That was good. Under Taoist 9 cauldrons' care, she should be able to quickly increase her cultivation. "Junior brother, are you really not coming with us?" Chang Yuer asked expectantly. If Han Ju followed them overseas, Xing Hongxian and Mo Zhu wouldn't have a chance anymore. Han Ju shook his head and said, "It's too dangerous overseas. Now that the Jade Pure sect has become stronger, it's safer to stay here. Of course, for mortal cultivators like you, it's also good to go out and take a look." Chang Yuer was stunned and almost died of anger. Han Ju said seriously, "When you're overseas, you have to be careful when cultivating. Don't be fooled by other men. The path of cultivation ultimately depends on yourself. Emotions like love will delay you. When we pursue the great Tao together in the future and travel the mortal world, won't it be beautiful?" Chang Yuer's eyes lit up. Junior brother's words. "I knew it. I'm in your heart." He was right. Love couldn't tie down the path of cultivation. Chang Yuer smiled even wider. The two of them chatted for 2 hours before parting. After she left, the chaotic heavenly dog sprawled beside the black hell chicken and asked, "Brother Chicken, that woman seems to like our master very much." After all, it was a divine beast of providence, unlike the black hell chicken, who was still immortal for the time being. The black hell chicken said solemnly, "That's greed. She wants to eat master. Remember, if you encounter other dogs that are interested in you in the future, you have to avoid them. Otherwise, you'll never be able to obtain the great Tao." "You think too much." "I'm serious. Master taught me about this." "Brother Chicken, you're just a silly chicken. How can a chicken turn into a phoenix? What? Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. The black hell chicken began beating the chaotic heavenly dog. In an instant, the forest was in chaos, and the leaves fell to the ground. 10 years passed quickly. Hanju broke through to the 5th level of the soul formation realm, while Su Qi's cultivation level actually reached the foundation establishment realm. His talent was indeed impressive. He didn't use the foundation establishment pill, but still broke through so easily. Su Qi enjoyed the cultivation process very much. More than 10 years had passed, but he didn't have any intention of leaving. He was very respectful to Hanju. One fine day, Taoist 9 Cauldrons brought the core disciples back, causing the Jade Pure sect to cheer. Hanju was also disturbed. He opened his eyes and prepared to relax. He clicked on his interpersonal link to check his emails. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by a fiendish cultivator. Your Dao companion Xian Qingjun was attacked by demons and was severely injured. Your Dao companion Xian Qingjun was attacked by Buddhists and was severely injured. Your Dao companion Xian Qingjun was killed and revived. Your good friend Zhou Fan accidentally entered an ancient forbidden ground, and his providence changed. Hanju was stunned. Xian Qingjun was killed? It seemed that her mortal body could be revived infinitely. Hanju wasn't worried. After all, she was the demon lord. He noticed that Zhou Fan's providence had changed. However, he couldn't see what the exact change was. Ha ha ha. Young friend Han, I've come to visit you. Taoist 9 Cauldrons laughed. Then, he turned into a gust of wind and rushed into the cave abode. Su Qi couldn't help but open his eyes. Hanju knew that this was bad. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Calm the Jinx was right beside him. Would it bring bad luck to Taoist 9 Cauldrons? Although he was a jinx, he shouldn't be able to pass on the bad luck so quickly, right? Taoist 9 Cauldrons noticed Su Qi as soon as he appeared and asked in surprise, "Is this your disciple?" Taoist 9 Cauldrons noticed Su Qi as soon as he appeared and asked in surprise, "Is this your disciple?" Hanju shook his head and said, "No, he's just my servant." Su Qi wanted to say something, but eventually chose to remain silent. Taoist 9 Cauldrons carefully sized him up, and his eyes lit up. This child's potential is very good. It's truly a waste of his talent to be your servant. Why don't you follow me overseas and seek the great Tao? Hanju frowned and his heart skipped a beat. Oh ancestor, you're courting death. Taoist 9 Cauldrons looked at Su Qi and asked with a smile. Boy, are you willing? I'm the founder of the Jade Pure sect. This is a great opportunity. He directly skipped Hanju, because he already knew his personality. This kid was most afraid of trouble. If he could take Su Qi away, Hanju might be grateful to him. Su Qi was excited when he heard that. Hanju couldn't help but say, Ancestor, this child's situation is special. It's best not to accept him. What could he say? Tell him that Su Qi was a jinx? Who would believe that? Taoist 9 Cauldrons asked with a faint smile. Why? Are you unwilling to let him go? Su Qi immediately said, Thank you for your kind intentions, ancestor. I want to stay here. He wasn't stupid. Taoist 9 Cauldrons was the founder. He actually came to visit Hanju personally with such a status. What did that mean? Hanju's status was not low. He might even be on par with Taoist 9 Cauldrons. Fine. Taoist 9 Cauldrons smiled, not angry. He walked to Hanju's side and sat down. He smiled and said, Young friend, I've already gone to all the sects in the great yin cultivation world. In the future, the Jade Pure sect will no longer be in danger. You can cultivate in peace. Hanju smiled and said, Ancestor is truly the ancestor. How impressive. I'm very amazed. Taoist 9 Cauldrons stroked his beard and laughed, clearly enjoying the flattery. When I went out this time, I discovered an ancient forbidden ground. There are abundant resources inside. I plan to take it for myself and make it the cultivation ground of the Jade Pure sect. This forbidden ground has just been discovered. There might be many treasures inside. Do you want to take a look? Hanju raised his eyebrows after hearing this. Ancient forbidden ground? Visit Light Novel World. Calm for the best novel reading experience, one word instantly appeared in his mind. Danger. Could it be the forbidden area that Zhou Fan had fallen into previously? Han Ju hurriedly shook his head and said, "Forget it. Let's give a chance to the other disciples of the sect." Taoist Nine Cauldrons shook his head and laughed. This kid is really afraid of death. This was also good. The other disciples were too rash. It was better for the sect to have a cultivator like Han Ju guarding it. Taoist Nine Cauldrons continued with a smile. In 20 years, I will have to leave. The heavenly immortal abode is about to open. I'm prepared to enter to pursue the great Tao. Let me tell you, the heavenly immortal abode has an extraordinary background. Every 100 years, disciples who ascended to become immortals would appear. He began to talk. Han Ju found it familiar. Wait, wasn't this what Xian Qingjun wanted to give him the first time she came to him? Heavenly Immortal Abode token. He had rejected her back then. From the looks of it, the Heavenly Immortal Abode was indeed formidable. Even an 8th level Void Amalgamation Realm cultivator, like Taoist Nine Cauldrons, wanted to enter it. Han Ju listened patiently. Su Qi also listened. After a long time. Ha ha ha, when I come back next time, I might already be at the body integration realm. My grand disciple said that you have outstanding potential and can catch up to me in a few 100 years. At that time, you and I will fight and see who is stronger. Taoist Nine Cauldrons smiled proudly. Han Ju was speechless. He suddenly realized that Taoist Nine Cauldrons' personality was different from what he had imagined. This fellow had the heart to show off. That made sense. Taoist Nine Cauldrons' return this time could be said to be extremely sensational. He even suppressed the top cultivation of the Great Yin cultivation world. Such a person would definitely have a high-profile temperament. Han Ju shook his head and smiled. Even if you give me a few thousand years, I won't be able to catch up to you. Taoist Nine Cauldrons was delighted. Taoist Nine Cauldrons has a good impression of you. Current favorability. 1 star. He finally had a good impression of him. Han Ju had been wondering why Taoist Nine Cauldrons didn't have a good impression of him when he had contributed so much to the sect. It turned out that he wanted to hear flattery. This content is taken from Light Novel World. Calm Taoist Nine Cauldrons was finally satisfied. He was just passing by when he came to look for Han Ju. He was shocked to discover that his prestige in the sect was not the highest. He couldn't compare to the deity-slaying elder. Taoist Nine Cauldrons had led the Jade Pure sect to greater heights, but the deity-slaying elder had saved the sect. There was indeed a gap between the two. In addition, Taoist Nine Cauldrons was too high-profile. He often walked around the inner sect, and almost all the disciples had seen him. As for the deity-slaying elder, other than Jade Serene Peak, most of the disciples had never seen him. He had always been very mysterious. Under such circumstances, the disciples worshipped the mysterious deity-slaying elder even more. After posturing, Taoist Nine Cauldrons left in satisfaction. Han Ju didn't think too much and continued cultivating. Time flew. 10 years passed quickly. While the Jade Pure sect was growing rapidly, Han Ju had been cultivating silently. His cultivation level had broken through to the 6th level of the Soul Formation realm. He used the simulation trial to fight Taoist Nine Cauldrons again. This time he lasted for an hour. But he still lost. Han Ju sighed. Taoist Nine Cauldrons, who was at the 8th level of the Void Amalgamation realm, was very strong. In a bad mood, Han Ju prepared to go out and wander around. He suddenly recalled that Taoist Nine Cauldrons had already come into contact with Su Qi. Would he encounter bad luck? He immediately opened the emails. Your good friend Mo Fujo was attacked by demons. Your good friend Mo Zhu was attacked by demons. Your good friend Taoist Nine Cauldrons encountered a mental demon during cultivation. Your good friend Taoist Nine Cauldrons was attacked by a mental demon, reducing his cultivation by 100 years. Your good friend Zhou Fan is dead. His soul was recalled by a mighty figure. He has been reborn. Han Ju was amused. Updated from Light Novel World. Calm Taoist Nine Cauldrons had truly gotten unlucky. As for Zhou Fan, this experience was the protagonist's life. Han Ju shook his head and laughed. His mood improved and he got up to leave. Su Qi was still cultivating. Hanju didn't teach him anything. He had been cultivating with the foundational qi absorption technique until today, and had never taken any youth-retaining pills. Now he was already mature, and was no longer the elegant youth from before. Xing Hongxian went out a few years ago, and had just returned less than 3 days ago. Hanju decided to visit her. This was the first time Hanju came to her cave abode. Xing Hongxian was so excited that she stood up to welcome him. After the two of them entered the cave abode, Xing Hongxian waved her hand, and used the formation array to close the entrance. Hanju sized up her cave abode. Although it was a cave abode, it had a unique charm. There were many paintings hanging on the wall, and the bed was a white jade boulder. It was spotlessly white. Xing Hongxian immediately hugged his arm, and pulled him to the table. She smiled and said, "Husband, you came at the right time. A few years ago, I went to the ancient Forbidden Ground, and obtained quite a number of treasures there. You can take a look and see what you like." She waved her right hand and treasures appeared on the table. There were jades, equipment, natural treasures, and so on. They were all very small. Hanju sat down and scanned them with his divine sense. He merely glanced at them. Although Xing Hongxian was already a golden core realm cultivator, what treasures could she find? Hanju suddenly exclaimed. His gaze landed on a wooden tablet that looked like a memorial tablet. Xing Hongxian noticed his expression and smiled smugly. "How about it? If you like it, you can take it. Everything I have is also yours." Hanju ignored her and picked up the wooden tablet. There were no words on it. It looked very ordinary. However, Hanju could sense a faint spiritual will inside. It was very weak. Ordinary soul formation realm cultivators might not even notice. Hanju closed his eyes and probed with his divine sense. Boom! A powerful divine sense broke through the spiritual will in the wooden token. Immediately after, a memory surged into Hanju's mind. Xing Hongxian raised her hands and looked at him. It had been a long time since she had seen him so close. For more, visit Light Novel World. Why was this face so handsome? Xing Hongxian was no longer young, and often went out to train. She could be said to be experienced and knowledgeable. However, no matter how many talented people she saw, she still thought that Hanju was the best. He was indeed the man she fell in love with at first sight. After a long while, Hanju opened his eyes and looked surprised. There was a secret technique hidden within the wooden tablet. Heavenly puppet. This kind of puppet was made of spiritual energy. Hanju could create a puppet with the same cultivation level as him. The weakness was that the puppet didn't last long enough. After the spiritual energy was exhausted, the puppet would stop moving until the next time spiritual energy was poured in again. The heavenly puppet was not able to fight automatically. It required a trace of the user's soul thought to control. It was similar to a clone, but the destruction of the heavenly puppet would not affect the creator. Because there was no need for breathing, the heavenly puppet could be stored in his storage ring. This was a good secret technique. Hanju could create some heavenly puppets for the people he wanted to protect. Hanju immediately stood up and said, "It's indeed a good treasure. I'll go back and cultivate first. I'll look for you again after some time." With that he vanished. Xing Hongxian was taken aback. Her expression turned bitter. However, on second thought, it must be a good treasure to make Hanju so impatient. She felt happy again. He would definitely like her more now. After returning to the Khanate cave abode, Hanju immediately started creating the heavenly puppet. He mobilized his spiritual energy with both hands, as if he was creating an invisible clay figure. He was pleasantly surprised to find that using the 6 paths spirit energy to create the heavenly puppet was not an obstacle. The inherited memories told him that the creation process of the heavenly puppet was very difficult. The difficulty was related to spiritual energy. Under normal circumstances, it was difficult for spiritual energy to materialize, let alone create puppets. However, according to the heavenly puppet secret technique, it was indeed possible. This was extremely miraculous. At the same time, the secret technique to create a soul thought was rather rare and could be used on other techniques. Soul thought was equivalent to having an extra pair of eyes. Hanju planned to create some heavenly puppets for Xing Hongxian, Changyuer, and Fairy Shixian. Oh, visit Light Novel World. Com for a better experience, one for his disciple, Yang Tiandong as well. The next time they encountered danger, his puppet would save their lives. However, Hanju still underestimated the difficulty of making the heavenly puppet. It took a full year. Hanju had only created one heavenly puppet. Although it was not difficult to create, it was too cumbersome and required a lot of time and effort. The newly formed heavenly puppet was already fully charged. This puppet was like a wooden puppet with a crude appearance. Hanju didn't dare to carve his face onto it. Wasn't that just drawing attention to him? Then, Hanju flashed into Xing Hongshuan's cave abode. Still cultivating, she was shocked by Hanju's sudden appearance. However, when she saw that it was him, she smiled happily again. Hanju immediately took out the heavenly puppet and said, "Put this puppet in your storage ring. No matter where you go in the future, you must bring it with you. At the critical moment, it can save your life." With that, he returned to the Khanate cave abode. Xing Hongxian was pleasantly surprised as she looked at the heavenly puppet. Its figure was very similar to Hanju. On the other side, Hanju continued to create more heavenly puppets. With the first experience, Hanju created 2 more heavenly puppets in the next year. The heavenly puppet was equivalent to his avatar. Apart from not having his Dharma treasures, it could unleash his true strength. It was very powerful. Hanju had thought about creating an army. However, after creating the 3 puppets, he dismissed the idea. Creating a soul thought was equivalent to cutting off a piece of his soul. A few soul thoughts were fine, but a few dozen would be problematic. Any more in his soul would be reduced to a remnant soul. In addition, creating the heavenly puppet would delay his cultivation. In the past 2 years, his cultivation level had not increased at all. If he was obsessed with creating heavenly puppets, wouldn't that affect his true pursuit? That wouldn't do. It would delay his cultivation. Follow current novels on Light Novel World. Hanju took a deep breath. He put away the 2 puppets and left. Su Qi was secretly curious. What were those 2 wooden puppets? In the past 2 years, he had personally seen Hanju create the heavenly puppets and felt that they were amazing. He couldn't figure it out and decided not to think about it. Hanju gave the 2 puppets to Changyuer and Fairy Shixian. Changyuer was pleasantly surprised and kept pestering him. It took a long time for him to escape. Fairy Shixian was very calm about it. The 2 did not talk much. One was passionate, while the other was cold. Hanju clicked his tongue in wonder. Yang Tiandong followed the sect master and was always outside. He couldn't be found for the time being. Previously, he was still considering if he should refine a heavenly puppet for Emoju. In the end, he heard from Changyuer that Emoju had already headed to the secret hall. The secret hall was the ancient mystic realm that Taoist 9 cauldrons had discovered. He had created a new location for the sect inside, and the spirit qi there was richer than that of the inner sect. To join the secret hall, one had to be an elite disciple at the very least. In other words, the Jade Pure sect now had a new hierarchy. The secret hall, the inner sect's 18 peaks, and the outer sect. The ancient mystic realm had yet to be fully explored, so only the secret hall was the safest. The inner sect had a teleportation formation leading there. However, the concentration of spiritual energy in the secret hall was not comparable to Hanju's mountain, so he was too lazy to move over. Back in the cave abode, Hanju perked up and started cultivating. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. 3 lines of words suddenly appeared in front of Hanju. You are already 200 years old. You have already lived for a long time. You have the following choices for your future cultivation. 1. Cultivate in a low-profile manner, just like you did in the first part of your life. Cultivate quietly, and don't fight for fame and fortune. From now on, the rewards will favor keeping a low profile. You can obtain a numinous treasure. 2. Cultivate in a high-profile manner, become a prodigy, and become famous throughout the world. From now on, the rewards will be more focused on cultivating in a high-profile manner. You can obtain equipment, a spell technique manual, and a mystical power inheritance. Unknowingly, Hanju was already 200 years old. Time truly passed quickly. Follow new episodes on the light novel world.com platform. Hanju didn't hesitate and chose the first option. A prodigy of a generation? It sounded great, but he refused to accept it. My aptitude is so amazing already, why should I be high profile? When I reach the great Tao, won't I be able to travel the world more freely? Hanju thought proudly. You chose to cultivate in a low-profile manner, and obtained a numinous treasure. Congratulations on obtaining a 4th-grade numinous treasure, Frostlord's Glazed Crown. Frostlord's Glazed Crown. 4th-grade defensive numinous treasure. It can reflect all attacks below the Void Amalgamation realm, except for some special mystical powers. It can effectively defend against soul and consciousness attacks. Another defensive numinous treasure. The system knows me well. Hanju thought in surprise. He immediately took out the Frostlord's Glazed Crown and began to connect with it using his blood. This crown was very cool looking, being purple-blue in color, and looked very exquisite. From now on, Hanju was armed with numinous treasures from head to toe. He was armed to the extreme. Nobody at the Soul Formation realm could hurt him at all. As for the Void Amalgamation realm, they could forget about instantly killing him. Su Qi noticed the glazed crown and his eyes widened. It was his first time seeing such a handsome crown. After half a day, Hanju finally made the Frost Lord's glazed crown recognize him as its master. He put the crown on, feeling more secure. Hanju continued cultivating happily. Another 5 years passed. Taoist 9 Cauldrons left with a group of disciples and headed overseas. Before leaving, Chang Yuer came to bid him farewell. It took Hanju a long time to send this crying senior sister away. After Taoist 9 Cauldrons left, Hanju became bored. He used the simulation trial to check the person with the highest cultivation in the Jade Pure sect other than him. Li Qianlong, 5th level of the Soul Formation realm, the successor of the Poison King. Li Qianlong? Li Qianlong? Poison King's successor? Hanju had a strange expression. Li Qianlong's name was very familiar. He seemed to have heard it somewhere before. Wait, more than 100 years ago, Mo Zhu had asked him to look for opportunities together. It seemed like she was looking for Li Qianlong's cave abode. He didn't expect that after so long, Taoist Li Qianlong would actually come here. The 5th level of the Soul Formation realm was extremely high in the cultivation world of the Great Yen. If he returned openly, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Hanju had never heard of such a thing. Yang Tiandong, Chang Yuer, and Xing Hongxian often came to look for him, but none of them mentioned it. What did this mean? It meant that Li Qianlong had infiltrated them. Hanju immediately searched for him. Li Qianlong was actually at the main peak. At that moment, Taoist Jingshu summoned all the disciples of the main peak. Xing Hongxian was also present. Li Qianlong had an ordinary appearance, and his aura was suppressed at the 1st level of the Golden Core realm. He had an honest appearance. Yet who would have imagined that he was the successor of the Poison King? Hanju didn't send his divine sense into the main peak to avoid alerting the enemy. The reason why Taoist Jingshu had summoned all the disciples was to inform them of Taoist 9 Cauldrons' departure. When Li Qianlong found out, he was overjoyed, but he hid it well. He had finally found an opportunity. Previously, with Taoist 9 Cauldrons around, he didn't dare to act recklessly. Now that Taoist 9 Cauldrons had left, he finally felt as if the clouds had parted, and he could finally see the sun. Calm down. There's one more standing in my way. Li Qianlong thought silently. The most mysterious person in the Jade Pure sect. Deity-slaying elder. He had heard that the reason why the Raincoat sect was defeated was that the sect master slaughtered his way to the Jade Pure sect and never returned. At that time, Taoist 9 Cauldrons had yet to return. In other words, Deity-slaying elder had the terrifying ability to kill the sect master of the Raincoat sect. Before Li Qianlong carried out his plan, he had to think of a way to deal with the deity-slaying elder. Follow new episodes on the light novel world.com platform. However, he had yet to find out who the deity-slaying elder was. It was said that he came from Jade Serene Peak. Jade Serene Peak. When he thought of that person on Jade Serene Peak, Li Qianlong's gaze became bitter. Ever since he discovered Li Qianlong, Hanju would often pay attention to him while cultivating. If Li Qianlong didn't want to harm the Jade Pure sect, he naturally couldn't kill him directly. He had sent a voice transmission to Xinghangshan. The inner sect of the Jade Pure sect was very peaceful, and there had been no incidents. Just like that, 5 years passed. Hanju broke through to the 7th level of the Soul Formation realm. He was getting closer and closer to the Void Amalgamation realm. Hanju was very happy. He checked Li Qianlong's location again, and discovered that he had already left the Jade Pure sect. Hanju didn't mind. It was fine as long as Li Qianlong didn't cause trouble. Hanju checked the emails. Your Dao companion Xian Qingjun experienced the aspects of life, and comprehended a mystical power. Your good friend Emo Fuzhou has fallen to the demonic path. Your divine pet, the chaotic heavenly dog, has comprehended its innate mystical power. Your good friend Taoist Nine Cauldrons was attacked by a demon king, and was severely injured. Your good friend Taoist Nine Cauldrons is furious, and his Tao heart is damaged. Your good friend Zhou Fan obtained the domination physique, shaking heaven and earth. Hanju was stunned. Fuck. So much had happened in the past 5 years. Emo Fuzhou had fallen to the demonic path. What had happened to him? That dog actually didn't tell him that it had comprehended its innate mystical power. Taoist Nine Cauldrons was truly pitiful. Served him right for attempting to recruit the Jinx. Visit Light Novel World.com for a better experience. As for Zhou Fan, wow, he really lived up to his protagonist-like name. Hanju took a deep breath, and felt that he couldn't relax. His cultivation might be the apex in the cultivation world of the Great Yin, but that did not mean that it would be the same in the future. He had to cultivate diligently. A protagonist like Zhou Fan might change an era. Although he was still a golden core cultivator, his recent encounter was very similar to the early stages of the 6 paths of reincarnation technique. He was constantly building his foundation. After so many years, the natural treasures in his mountain also began to mature one after another, and the spirit qi entered a period of explosive growth. Hanju decided to try his best to reach the Void Amalgamation realm. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. Hanju's cultivation level had reached the 8th level of the Soul Formation realm, and he was not far from the 9th level. Every time he thought of the Void Amalgamation realm, he would be very excited. One fine day, Li Qingzi came to visit. To prevent Su Qi from passing on his bad luck to him, Hanju walked out of the cave abode. Elder Han, long time no see. How's your cultivation going? Li Qingzi asked warmly. He was in the limelight now. With Taoist Nine Cauldrons' help, his cultivation level had already reached the 9th level of the nascent soul realm. Apart from his cultivation, he was also the leader of the righteous path in the Great Yin cultivation world. All these years, Hanju didn't see him being attacked. Not bad. May I know why you are looking for me? Hanju asked with a smile. Li Qingzi smiled and said, the Righteous Path's Cultivation Conference is about to begin. Do you want to go? This conference is located in the imperial capital of the Great Yin Dynasty. You can obtain the providence of the human race that can aid in cultivation. A notification appeared in front of Hanju. Sect Master Li Qingzi invites you to participate in the cultivation conference. You have the following choices. 1. Reject. Continue cultivating. You can obtain a numinous treasure. 2. Accept it. If you leave the sect with the sect master, you can obtain a superior grade spirit stone. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World.com. The difference in rewards between the two was huge. However, Hanju was already used to it. It was not that the system forced him to make such a choice, but that he had chosen to cultivate in a low-profile manner. This was the path that the system had planned for him forward. Hanju silently chose the first option. It was very easy for something to happen during the cultivation conference. It was a big deal. Hanju shook his head and said, "Forget it, I won't go. Sect Master, be careful." Although things have been going smoothly for the Jade Pure sect recently, the matter of the ancestors' departure will definitely be known by other forces. Li Qingzi sighed. This Elder Han's heart of cultivation was ridiculous. If it was him, with Hanju's ability, he would have long been out enjoying life. You rejected the sect master's invitation and obtained a numinous treasure. Congratulations on obtaining the supreme grade numinous treasure. Book of Misfortune. Book of Misfortune. Unparalleled numinous treasure. It can curse living beings and bring misfortune to them. At the same time, it will not be detected by them. The Book of Misfortune? Curse. Hanju became interested. However, with Li Qingzi in front of him, he couldn't take it out. Sect Master, what do you think of Li Qianlong? Hanju suddenly asked. Li Qingzi was about to leave the sect. If Li Qianlong returned and wanted to cause trouble, Hanju had to know if he could kill him. Li Qingzi's expression changed when he heard that. Why do you ask, Elder Han? As soon as he said that, he felt that his attitude was not good. He hurriedly explained. This person was once my junior. His talent was unparalleled. But both he and Guan Yugang liked Fairy Shixian. The two of them had a life-and-death battle, and forced my master to make a move. However, Li Qianlong was not convinced, and actually dared to make a move on my master. While in prison, he secretly fled the sect. Before he left a letter saying that he would definitely overturn the Jade Pure sect when he returned. He was very displeased when Li Qianlong was mentioned. Hanju blinked. It was another tragedy caused by jealousy. No wonder Fairy Shixian did not allow her disciples to talk about love. Hanju said softly, Li Qianlong has returned, but he went out recently. He disguised himself and entered the main peak. Li Qingzi widened his eyes and trembled in anger. He grabbed Hanju and said, "If he comes back again, Elder Han, you have to catch him. That's right, don't kill him. Don't be too ruthless and kill him accidentally." Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. Hearing Li Qingzi's words, Hanju was very curious about the gossip of this generation. Hearing Li Qingzi's words, Hanju was very curious about the gossip of this generation. Why did it feel like all of them liked Fairy Shixian? Wasn't Taoist Jingshu good enough for them? Well, that was true. Taoist Jingshu was not beautiful. Li Qingzi left after leaving some parting words. Li Qianlong's appearance made him uneasy. He frowned as he left. Hanju returned to his cave abode and took out the Book of Misfortune. This was a supreme grade numinous treasure. Hanju was very excited and started to drip blood on it. Su Qi opened his eyes and looked at the Book of Misfortune in Hanju's hand. The Book of Misfortune looked more like a black drawing scroll than a book. For some reason, when Su Qi saw the Book of Misfortune, he felt an inexplicable closeness. He liked this treasure, but liking was just liking. Su Qi did not dare to ask for it. He continued to cultivate. Because of his outstanding aptitude, Hanju had imparted the Jade Pure technique to Su Qi some time ago. The Jade Pure technique was the ultimate technique of the Jade Pure sect. It wasn't difficult for Hanju to obtain it with his status. The two of them already had a master-disciple relationship. It took Hanju an entire day to make the Book of Misfortune recognize him as its master. He injected 6 paths spirit energy into it and started cursing Li Qianlong. He imagined Li Qianlong's face in his mind. Between the mountains and rivers was a bamboo house. Li Qianlong knelt at the entrance. He asked in a low voice, "Master, what must I do for you to leave the mountain?" An old voice came from inside. "I've already left the cultivation world for 1,000 years. I don't want to participate in its disputes anymore. You can take revenge yourself. I've already passed on my legacy to you. Don't push your luck." Li Qianlong was extremely unwilling when he heard this. He gritted his teeth and said, "Master, then pass me the recipe for the divine poison pill." I'll rely on myself. Visit Light Novel World. Com for the best novel reading experience. No, that's my ultimate treasure. If I pass it to you, won't I be stupid if you used it to poison me to death? Li Qianlong almost spat out blood. He cursed in his heart. Becoming a disciple of the Poison King was not a stroke of luck. He had been the Poison King's pill tester for 100 years. He had tried all kinds of poisons. That period of time could be said to be worse than death. The only consolation was that he would be the Poison King's only successor. In the end, this scoundrel, the Poison King, actually held back and did not impart all his skills. The Poison King's voice floated out again. Daoist Nine Cauldrons has already noticed my existence. I can't offend him rashly. Right now, the Jade Pure sect is like the sun in the sky. Not many sects dare to offend them. However, if you insist, you can look for the Wei family. Although they aren't considered top-notch in the Great Yin cultivation world, they often roam the world and have a wide network. Li Qianlong's eyes flickered as he pondered. 5 minutes later he left. He hadn't walked more than 5 kilometers when a bolt of lightning struck him. He was caught off guard. Fortunately, Li Qianlong's cultivation was high and he wasn't injured. He looked up at the sky and cursed. What a coincidence! Hanju cursed Li Qianlong for a period of time. He couldn't test the results and could only give up and focus on cultivating. A month later, Yang Tiandong returned. To prevent him from meeting Su Qi, Hanju walked out of the Khanate cave abode. Yang Tiandong had already completely displayed his talent. After entering the Golden Core realm, he first advanced to an elite disciple before advancing to a core disciple. He was one of the most prominent figures among the younger generation of the Jade Pure sect. Master, I plan to go to the cultivation convention. When the time comes, the various sects will spar. Can you? Yang Tiandong asked nervously. After learning the Heartless Flying Sword, Yang Tiandong's strength increased greatly, but he still felt that it was not enough. Hanju nodded and said, Then, I'll teach you another ultimate technique to win honor for the sect. This ultimate technique is called the Wind God technique. Yang Tiandong was excited and quickly thanked him. 3 days later he left. Hanju felt like he had forgotten something. Oh, he had forgotten to create a heavenly puppet for him. Oh well, his luck was strong, so he should be fine. 5 years later. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. Hanju finally broke through to the 9th level of the Soul Formation realm. Next was the Void Amalgamation realm. But before that, he had to raise his cultivation level to the Major Perfection Soul Formation realm. Hanju looked at Su Qi. He felt that it was time to throw this kid out. It was not convenient if he stayed here every day. Hanju coughed. Su Qi looked at him. Hanju asked expressionlessly, You've been with me for some time. You can be considered to have stepped on the path of cultivation. Su Qi said gratefully, Thank you, Senior. Hanju said, I'll give you a mission. If you can complete it, I'll take you in as my disciple. Upon hearing this, Su Qi's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly asked what the mission was. I want you to go to the North State and join the Demon Taming sect. You don't have to do anything. Just hide in there and cultivate. In the future, I will personally head there and destroy their sect in the future. You will be my spy. Let me say this first. The Demon Taming sect is very strong. Even someone at the Void Amalgamation realm can only be considered an elder. Hanju spoke in a meaningful tone. Su Qi was shocked. He had already understood the cultivation realms. The strongest in the Jade Pure sect was only at the Soul Formation realm. How powerful was the Demon Taming sect? Most importantly, Hanju wanted to destroy it. How strong was he? Su Qi's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability, 5 stars. A question mark appeared above Hanju's mind. Su Qi hurriedly guaranteed. I will complete the mission. This is a secret mission. You can leave now. Leave the Jade Pure sect. And don't interact with anyone here. All right. Su Qi stood up excitedly. After walking out of the Khanate cave abode, the sunlight fell on Su Qi. He couldn't help but feel as if a lifetime had passed. He clenched his fists and took a deep breath. I must complete master's test. Su Qi immediately went down the mountain. On the way down, he saw the chaotic heavenly dog and the black hell chicken fighting. Yeah, they were fighting. The black hell chicken's bloodline was still awakening. As for the chaotic heavenly dog, it had the talent of a divine beast. Its cultivation level was second to the black hell chicken's. The source of this content is Light Novel World. This fat dog did not want to remain in its current status. It wanted to be the elder. Naturally, the black hell chicken had to educate it. The two beasts often fought. Of course, their fights were non-lethal. Although the chaotic heavenly dog was arrogant, it was very close to the black hell chicken. After all, it was hatched by the chicken. After all, the black hell chicken was its father. Su Qi smiled and said, "What a fat dog. This chicken and dog battle is really interesting." The chaotic heavenly dog immediately turned around and charged at him. Su Qi fled in fright. After leaving the mountain, Su Qi escaped the pursuit of the chaotic heavenly dog. He suddenly realized something. Where was the North State? Forget it. That wasn't important. He would definitely find out eventually. This was definitely one of Master's tests. After Su Qi left, Hanju continued to cultivate. 2 years later, his cultivation finally reached the major perfection soul formation realm. He was about to break through to the void amalgamation realm. Hanju held back his excitement and checked his emails first. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by a demon king and was severely injured. Your disciple Yang Tiandong had a fortuitous encounter and awakened the demon saint bloodline. Your divine pet, chaotic heavenly dog, made a mistake in cultivation. Cultivation has been reduced by 20 years. Your good friend Mo Fujo was attacked by righteous cultivators. X104. Your good friend Chang Yuer accidentally obtained a fortuitous encounter, and her cultivation level increased greatly. Your disciple Su Qi was attacked by a fiendish cultivator. X27. Your disciple Su Qi was captured by the Green Ghost sect. Follow current novels on Light Novel World. Your disciple Su Qi spread his bad luck. The Green Ghost sect encountered an extremely rare heavenly tribulation that struck once in hundreds of years. The entire sect has been destroyed. Destruction of the entire sect. Destruction of the entire sect. Hanju was stunned and gasped at his amazing power. As expected of Heavenly Court's Jinx, he was a walking nuclear bomb. However, Hanju had never heard of the Green Ghost sect. It was probably a small sect somewhere. A truly powerful cultivation sect would not be unable to overcome a heavenly tribulation that was rare even in a few hundred years. Perhaps with Su Qi, Hanju would be able to finish off the demon-taming sect? Hanju noticed that Mo Fujo was being pursued by the righteous cultivators. He had completely fallen into the demonic path. It had to be said, the outside world was truly exciting, and things were ever-changing. Fortunately, he chose to cultivate in a low-key manner. If he was like Mo Fujo, Zhou Fan, and Li Qingzi, how painful would that be? There was also his disciple. He said that he had gone to participate in the cultivation conference, but was attacked by a demon king. Fortunately, he had survived. If he died outside, Hanju would be speechless. Something worthy of mentioning was that Li Qianlong had not appeared recently. Could it be that he had successfully cursed him? Hanju shook his head and prepared to head to the 10,000 demon realm. In a dark valley, Li Qianlong leaned against the wall and held his breath. A dozen cultivators stood beside him. Looking up, countless demons circled above the valley. A young cultivator by Li Qianlong's side couldn't help but grumble. "Senior Li, don't you know the way? Why did you bring us to the demon cave?" The other cultivators were also frightened. They were all cultivators of the Wei family. Li Qianlong followed the Poison King's instructions and found the Wei family. He spent a few years taking in their eldest son and established a good relationship with him. This time, he left the Great Yin with the Wei family and was prepared to rope in other powerful sects in the cultivation world. However, something went wrong when they used a teleportation formation. They were directly teleported to the demon cave. There were countless demons here. And there was even a demon king whose strength was extremely terrifying. Even Li Qianlong found it difficult to defeat him. Li Qianlong was also very depressed. In recent years his luck had been extremely bad. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. He had been struck by lightning during his journey, and encountered a mental demon during his cultivation. He had robbed a young cultivator, but in the end, he was a soul formation cultivator pretending to be weak. This time, it was even worse for the Wei family. No, I haven't had my revenge. I can't die here. Li Qianlong gritted his teeth. Pet Beast Pavilion. Dozens of disciples were gathered, including Taoist Jingxiu. From today onwards, all disciples are not to enter the 10,000 demon realm, and must await the open notice, Taoist Jingxiu said expressionlessly. A disciple of the main peak couldn't help but ask, Master, what happened in the 10,000 demon realm? The other disciples were also very curious. Every disciple would go to the 10,000 demon realm to capture demon beasts and increase their confidence in traveling the cultivation world. Taoist Jingxiu said calmly, Deity-slaying elder is undergoing tribulation. Perhaps he's cultivating a mystical power. She never thought that Hanju would break through to the void amalgamation realm. It had only been a few decades. Impossible. It had taken Taoist 9 cauldrons more than 1,000 years to reach the void amalgamation realm. One had to know that Taoist 9 cauldrons was the #1 genius in the great yin cultivation world. Whoosh, the disciples were in an uproar. Deity-slaying elder is inside? Wow, I've never seen the deity-slaying elder before. It's said that deity-slaying elder is the strongest pillar of the Jade Pure sect. He has been cultivating in seclusion. No one can match deity-slaying elder's cultivation persistence. It's said that deity-slaying elder looks better than all men and women in the world. I really want to see deity-slaying elder's true appearance. Is deity-slaying elder accepting a disciple? The disciples were very excited and discussed nonstop. The news spread very quickly. More and more disciples rushed over, completely blocking the Pet Beast Pavilion. All the disciples had heard of the legendary deeds of the deity-slaying elder. Some people even said that the reason why the Jade Pure sect could be where it was today was because of the deity-slaying elder. Several days later, Guan Yugang rushed over. The source of this content is Light Novel World. When he saw so many people gathered outside the building, he cursed angrily. All of you scram. Whoever dares to gather here will be banished to the outer sect. With that said, all the disciples scattered. Guan Yugang came to the counter and said, Activate the formation. I'm going to the 10,000 demon realm. The person in charge hesitated. Taoist Jingxiu said that no one is allowed. Who do you think I am? After hearing that, the person hurriedly activated the teleportation formation. After 7 days and 7 nights of persistence, Hanju finally survived the powerful heavenly tribulation and advanced to become a void amalgamation realm cultivator. With his ability, the heavenly tribulation could not kill him. Congratulations on breaking through to the void amalgamation realm and obtaining a birth dharma treasure. The birth dharma treasure will fuse with your soul and only recognize you. As you become stronger, the birth dharma treasure will also become stronger. As for the birth dharma treasure, you have the following choices: 1 sword, 2 defensive dharma treasure. Hanju was covered in defensive numinous treasures already, so he naturally chose the sword. After all, he was a sword cultivator. He chose the first choice without hesitation. Congratulations on obtaining the Primordial Judgment Sword. Primordial Judgment Sword. Since you are not reincarnated normally, but have transmigrated here by crossing the primordial chaos, the primordial chi in your body has been refined into your birth dharma treasure. Primordial chaos? Hanju was stunned. Was it the primordial chaos? The system did not answer him. He didn't think too much and continued to consolidate his cultivation. His attributes now were: name, Hanju, lifespan, 227/8940 race, human, mortal transcendence stage. The source of this content is Light Novel World. Cultivation. First level of the Void Amalgamation Realm. Technique. 6 paths of reincarnation can be inherited. Magic. Unparalleled Finger Divine Sword. 7 illusionary steps. 3 Pure Shadow Sword Unparalleled. 9 Dragons Devil Expelling Seal. Major Kiliacosm Thunderstorm Wind God Technique. Mystical Power. 6 paths Soul Absorption. Heavenly Punishment Ghost Deity Sword. Imitate Heaven and Earth. Somersault Cloud. 10,000 Sword Sect. Can be inherited. Tathagata. Incantation. Equipment. Golden Cicada's Mystic Divine Robe. 7th Grade Numinous Treasure. Little Universe Belt Chelan Sword. Demon Binding Rope. Burning Fiend Bell. 6th Grade Numinous Treasure. 9-Star Spirit Trampling Boots. 5th Grade Numinous Treasure. Frost Lord's Glazed Crown. 4th Grade Numinous Treasure. Book of Misfortune. Supreme Grade Numinous Treasure. Birth Dharma Treasure. Primordial Judgment Sword. Cultivation Potential. Spiritual Physique of the 6 Paths. It contains top-notch wind, fire, water, earth, wood, and thunder cultivation potentials. Increases providence to a certain extent. Connate providence is as follows: unparalleled. Immortal beauty, top-notch charm. Destined sword fanatic. Top-notch sword Dao aptitude. Top-notch sword Dao learning ability. Unparalleled movement technique. Top-notch movement technique aptitude. Descendant of the Immortal Emperor. After the game begins, you will receive an unparalleled cultivation technique and 1,000 superior grade spirit stones. Check interpersonal relationships. His lifespan increased to 8,940 years. Awesome. Hanju also noticed that his identity as a human had changed to mortal transcendence stage. Was this a hint that he was on the path to becoming an immortal? Hanju was in a good mood. After 200 years of boring cultivation, anyone else would have gone mad. But he was used to this, he even enjoyed it. This feeling of steadily becoming stronger was too good. The reason why mortals hated cultivation was that they could not feel themselves becoming stronger most of the time. However, Hanju was different. His potential was outstanding, and he became stronger almost every day. Reaching the Void Amalgamation Realm meant that he was truly invincible in the Great Yin cultivation world. Next, of course, he had to continue charging into the body integration realm. Hanju thought firmly. Visit Light Novel World. Calm for a better experience. At this moment, a voice sounded. Deity Slaying Elder, I'm Guan Yu Gang. After you consolidate your cultivation, let's spar. If I defeat you, I will become the sect master. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.